Good afternoon. It's homecoming at beautiful but balmy Charlottesville, Virginia, where the Cavaliers are hoping to add another notch to their belt. It's been a tremendous season for both these ball clubs. Two of the, ACC's also-rans. In past years, it's been a battle to see who wouldn't finish in last place. This year, a very different situation. Both these teams have very serious chances at, making a run for the ACC championship and certainly impressing bowl scouts. We've got a couple on hand today, and both teams feel this is a critical game if they're to march ahead and fulfill some of the goals. Of course, the key to a winning season is getting that 5th win by the 1st of November. These teams are both well ahead of that. The Wake Forest Deacons about to take the field. Their record 4-2 after dropping a close 21-20 loss to Virginia Tech in their opener way back in the early part of September. The Deacons have got it rolling. They've won 4 of their last 5, including a couple of crucial ACC wins over NC State. And, of course, last week's, big win over North Carolina, 14-3. The Deacon Demons coming out to take the field at Scott Stadium. They're, of course, coached by a former Virginia player and assistant coach Al Grove. And now the Cavaliers of the University of Virginia. Here they come. The Cavs off to their best record in over 30 years. 4-1-1, including last week's tie with Georgia Tech. They are also ready to get something done today. We might probably have a little different battle than last year's 38-34 shootout, but things do look right for a great game. Now, the ACC standings look like this. Maryland, 2-0. Then Virginia, 1-0-1 after that tie with Georgia Tech. Wake Forest, 2-1, followed by NC State, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina and Duke holding up the rear in the cellar of the ACC right now. Good afternoon. I'm Dan McReynolds. I'd like to welcome to Scott Stadium. We've already mentioned it's a homecoming. Be a very warm day, and it should be a tremendous battle between a couple of very improved and I think very different teams that you may have seen last season. With us, of course, former Kentucky head coach Fran Kersey. Fran, we're talking about changes and differences. Of course, it all starts with the head coach.
Well, the head coach is the architect, and George Welsh is the architect of this Cavalier team. We asked George yesterday, George, how could you possibly turn this program around so quickly? And he said, well, first thing you have to do is change your winning attitude. We all know that. But he said he had to go out and get quality athletes, those kind of athletes that had great speed. One of those we're going to look at today is Don Pajowski. Don Pajowski, you can see right there, is throwing the ball 51 times, completed 24 passes. He's a great athlete. He's high jump, 6'6", in high school. He was recruited by Terry Holland on the basketball team, and he was a wishbone quarterback. So you know when he's in the ball game, he can run that option play, and he really does a good job of it. He likes to throw the ball to John Ford. You can see John Ford there is averaging an incredible 31.7 yards per catch, and 5 touchdowns. So he's an exciting football player. Mr. Excitement, they call around here. And I hope the fans out there get a chance to see him catch the ball, because they're going to really see a guy that can make things happen.
Now, Fran, there's some other guys on the other side of the ball that are doing a great job. Of course, Al Grove, who's in his first head coaching assignment, has done equally well at getting the good talent to Wake Forest.
Well, Al Grove has had the same basic problem as George Welsh has had, looking for talent. And he said his problem was he was getting too many players from out of state that were seconds. So he had to go around North Carolina and try to get the best players that he could out of the Carolina area, and he came up with one, James Brim. James Brim is the most celebrated athlete ever recruited at Wake Forest. He's a parade high school All-American, a fantastic athlete that gives him that great speed that he needs. He's a program turner, and this guy really does make other players come with him. He's a great football player. Both these teams are surprise teams for us here, Dan, and the winner of this football team is going to probably go to a bowl game.
It's going to be an interesting situation. Again, both teams that are very improved and very different in their approach to the ball game, and I think we've got a real classic brewing right here. Let's take a look now at the opening kickoff following these words from our local stations. As Coach George Wells surveys the situation on the sidelines, Fran, this looks like a tremendously even matchup here as the Cavaliers get ready to kick off. Of course, we've got a situation where really anything could happen with these two teams meeting with a solid defense and a little bit different attack as Coach Al Grove sets up. Kicking off for the Cavaliers, as always, Kenny Stadler, a walk-on kicker who has bagged it 56 yards through the post earlier in the field goal. He'll be kicking off to Darryl McGill, deep for the Deacons. McGill comes up to take the ball at about the 7-yard line. Takes it right up the middle behind the wedge. He's to the 20, 23-yard line. And inches forward as Benson Toy makes the tackle for the Cavaliers. So the Deacons open with fairly good position at about the 24-yard line, Fran. And taking a look at the starting lineup, Boy White for the Deacons, Michael Ramseur in the backfield at halfback, Topper Clemens fullback. James Brim from Monterey, North Carolina, starting at split end today. Dwayne Owens, the flanker, a senior from Syracuse, New York. And Kevin Wazorek from East Northbrook, New York, will be starting at tight end. So the Deacons line it up, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. In motion goes Owens. And the handoff up the middle. Tucker Clemens for about a yard as the Cavaliers playing it tough. Taking a look at Virginia. Defensive, or Wake Forest starting lineup, I should say. Paul Kaiser at left guard from Conley Springs, North Carolina. The center, Michael Nasselt from Plantation, Florida. Kenny McAllister at right guard from Jacksonville, North Carolina. At right tackle, Bobby Morrison, senior from Wilmington, North Carolina. So, Foy White lines him up. David Chambers now in at flanker. And up the middle, Ramsor, he is hit for just about no gain. Actually a loss of a couple of yards, Fran Kersey.
We're going to see a lot of misdirection today from Wake Forest, and right there was an example where number 41 stayed back, read the play, and went ahead and tackled Ramseur. We didn't know Ramseur was going to play until kickoff because there is some question as to whether he'd be ready to play.
So the Deacons come out with third about 9 yards to play as Foy White goes from the spread offense, something you'll see a little bit more often from Wake Forest as the season progresses. White back to pass, looks downfield. He's got a completion and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Nice reception from Dwayne Owens. So that will be just about enough. Lester Lyles, of course, the great All-ACC, defending on that play. Not quite enough. I take it back. He did make it. They're marking it back, so it's about a yard short. It'll be 4th down, and in comes one of the nation's top punters, Harry Newsom, who is averaging about 43.7 yards a kick. And back deep for the Cavaliers this time around will be Ray Daly, number 8. Daly has good speed, and of course Newsom has tremendous range and hang time. If you haven't seen Newsom punt, you'll enjoy it. Good high kick. Daly coming up for it at the 24-yard line. He takes it, heads to his right, almost breaks free, but a nice tackle on that play as the Deacons hold the Cavaliers to just about a 5-yard pickup on the return. Scott Roberts on the tackle for Virginia. So starting off, Virginia quarterback Don Mikowski, Howard Petty at tailback. Fullback Steve Morse from 8 Mile, Alabama. At the split-end position, John Muha from Pennsylvania. And freshman John Ford from Florida, man we've talked quite a bit about. Ryan Hitchcock, the tight end from Rochester, New York. Here come the Cavaliers' first play. Up the middle goes Petty, and just about no gain. Ball popped loose, and the officials taking a good close look at it. Tony Scott knocked it loose for Wake Forest, but it was, of course, blown dead. So call it no gain, 2nd down at just about the 30-yard line. As here's the Virginia line. All-ACC Jim Dombrowski at left tackle. At left guard, Bob Olderman from Atlanta, GA. Harold Karen at center. And here's a long pass. Headed down the house. Oh, Mikowski just misses. Forward. And that's what we were talking about, Fran. The idea, this guy has got speed to burn, and they kind of felt like they'd like to test out Wake Forest early.
Well, I think that's a good idea because it's going to keep Wake Forest with the defensive backs playing awful deep, because I know George Welsh is going to want to come with the option play later on. So when they run forward deep downfield like that, those defensive backs have got to respect that and run with him. You can see right here in a replay, there looks like a little bumping going on there, but the ball was overthrown a little bit, and I think the official said there was no reason to call a penalty.
3rd down, 10 yards to go. Ron Bullock now in the game for the Cavaliers, another freshman. Mosky goes left through a hole. He's heading downfield by the 40 to the 44-yard line, a 1st down. Tony Scott again on the tackle for Wake Forest. So big 14-yard pickup for the man they call Magic around here. Brandon, I think we got an idea of why. A guy who seems to make things happen.
Well, that's the guy we talked about at the top of the show, but the play that made that play work was the fact that they scared the people with Ford running downfield so much. As we said before, he's opening up the lanes for the option play.
So Bullock and Muha go wide. 1st down and 10 as Mahowski sets up the offense. Hand off to Petty. He goes wide around the right side. He's to the 45, the 50, down to the 47-yard, but drops the ball, and it looks like the Deacons have recovered. Ronnie Burgess, number 25, on the ball. Donald Johnson knocking it loose. So the first break of the game goes to Wake Forest, and they'll take over at about the 47-yard line.
Petty made such a great move to the outside there, and it's just unfortunate that he didn't hold on to the ball properly. You see right here, he's breaking outside. Look at the ball loosely being swung there. And now right here, he'll make a cut back to his left. You see right there, the ball swings, it comes out, falls on the ground, and of course that is a very big and early turnover.
So Foy White brings Wake Forest up the line of scrimmage, the first real break of the game. First down at their own 48-yard line for the Deacons. He sent two men split to the right. White goes back to pass. He's looking downfield. A long one. Brim breaks open. What a catch. He's got it at the 12-yard line. James Brim, another man we talked about as being the good talent that both these teams have been looking for. And Brim, I guess, simply beat the coverage.
He just did, and you can see what speed does for your football team. As they say in the coaching ranks, speed kills. And watch right here, you'll see the quarterback get back Foy. Foy White steps back here tall. After a fake, he throws the ball up in the air and lets a guy like James Brim just run under the ball. He out-jumps for the ball. What a great reception.
Yeah, beating a guy like Lyles is something to do. Lester Lyles and all ACC. There goes Ramser up the middle to about the 7-yard line. By the way, that was a 41-yard reception by James Brim, and the Deacons are in business now at about the 7-yard line. As Ron Matties makes the tackle, number 98 left tackle for the University of Virginia.
You can see how effective throwing a long pass is. Whether you complete it or not, if you complete it, it helps you. But if you don't complete it, it still forces those defensive secondary people to just go back with you. Then it opens up your running lanes.
So the Deeks will take a try, second down at about 7-yard line. Yards, I should say. White going back to pass again. Looking at Owens in the corner. He's going to dance a while. Incomplete. Dwight Owens was circling around at about the 5-yard line. And a tough try as Wake Forest now will face a third down and goal at about the 8-yard line.
Well, there's Foy White, and I think right there he threw that ball away. Nobody was open. The pressure was coming to him, so he threw the ball low and outside so it wouldn't be intercepted. Smart play.
So it'll be third down. Topper Clemens is in for that passing play. They'll switch a little bit now. And Chip Reeves will enter the backfield at the fullback position. In motion goes Dwayne Owens. And again, White will go for the spread. Got some pressure. And the linebacker gets in from the University of Virginia, junior Charles McDaniel, who leads the Cavaliers in tackles, put the pressure on White just as he released. And the Cavaliers come up with a pretty strong series this close to their goal line.
Of course, you have to be impressed with what Foy White did there. And, of course, there's Charles McDaniel, the leading tackler on a team, and a great football player. Has been the leading tackler on a team for 3 years in a row.
So Danny Nolan will come in to try a field goal. They'll mark it down at about the 15-yard line, tack on 10 yards in the end zone. A 25-yard attempt for Nolan, who has really been splitting time with the other kicker, Doug Ealing. Nolan has great accuracy inside the 20. It wasn't pretty, but I believe it went through, Fran.
It sure was.
So the Demon Deacons have got first blood on homecoming Saturday at Scott Stadium. A 25-yard field goal by Danny Nolan.
For 41 yards. And, of course, we talked about James Brim and the great talent that he has and his leaping ability, as great athletes do. I was impressed with Virginia, too, so I think we're going to have ourselves a whale of a ball game. Doug Illing there, you can see him getting ready to kick off, but we're going to have ourselves a game, perhaps a high-scoring game. I think that people would enjoy that.
We shall see. It's been the history of this rivalry, of course. 6 of the last 7 years, the final score has been less than a touchdown advantage. And Barry Ward deep for the Cavaliers. He's averaging just about 20 yards a return. Also with him, Quanah Bullock, number 14. Here's the kickoff by Illing. Goes deep to about the 1-yard line into the end zone. And it's Word on the return up to the 15, the 20, 23, 4, 5-yard line. Some tough running all the way down to the 27-yard line as the Cavaliers again get pretty fair field position. Marvin Young on the tackle. So let's take a look at the Demon Deacons defense. Of course, Morrill starting for Bruce Mark on the defensive front, a change you might not have expected. Mark still hobbled by an injury. And, of course, Grabarczyk, the junior college transfer, leads the linebacking corps, which also includes the powerful Malcolm Hairston, who has done a fairly good job for the Deacons. Of course, Deacon fans realize. Rory Holt at cornerback and free safety. Reggie McCummings as the Cavaliers come up. First down. Bahowski gives inside, and it's Steve Morse for a couple. Tony Coates on the tackle. Number 77 wraps him up, the senior from Wake Forest.
Interestingly enough, we'll see Wake Forest and Virginia both taking their nose guard. We'll get a chance to watch that as we go through the game. And they're going to offset him, move him left or right of the ball and slant him, and it causes problems for the offense. So
Johnny Ford's split wide to the right. Mahowski pitches deep to Petty. Petty looking for some room. He cuts through, and a nice play coming up for about 5 yards. Good tackle by Tony Scott. And Petty did a lot of that on his own, just cutting right up inside. Petty, of course, the tailback position, averaging 4.9 yards, both players, both Howard Petty and his counterpart, Barry Word. So Virginia's got a good, solid grounding game.
And they haven't had many turnovers this year either, except for the quarterback's been throwing a few interceptions, but very few fumbles.
So it's Muha and John Ford wide to the left. Third down at about 4, handoff inside to Petty again. Stopped and stopped hard as the Deacons gang up. Gary Bollinger, of course, has a couple of brothers in the pros on the stop. Tony Coates helping out too, number 77 for the Demon Deacons. So it's 4th down and 5. And the Cavaliers will try out their punting unit for the first time today. Of course, kicking is backup quarterback Kevin Ferguson. And deep to receive for the Deacons, Rory Holt, number 5, and McCummings, number 28. Here's the punt. It's a little low line drive variety. Holt takes it over his shoulder at the 24-yard line, and he has swarmed over and driven back to the 22-yard line by a whole host of Virginia Cavaliers. We'll be back with more from Scott Stadium as the Demon Deacons getting out to a quick 3-0 lead on a Virginia turnover. They took it 52 yards, of course, aided by a James Brim catch, 41 yards. And after a 45-yard Virginia punt, 1-yard return, the Demon Deacons are ready to go into action. 4 wide under center. In motion to the near side, Wayne Owens. And up the middle for just about 4 yards, it's Topper Clemens. Just a couple of weeks ago, rushed for an ACC high 171 yards against Richmond. Tom Kilgannon on the stop. Virginia defensive line looks like this freshman Sean Scott, Tom Mattis, David Baum, Tom Kilgannon, and Scott Hillman. In the linebacking core, Charles McDaniel and Stuart Mines. And the secondary, Lester Lyles, All-ACC, Bob Sweeney, Frazier, and Daly. So it's 2nd down and just about 4 yards to go for Deacons. A little movement on the line, and we'll take another look at this one. Tom Kilgannon apparently jumped across. We'll wait and see whether he was drawn over or not. And as you can see, the officials are flagging Wake Forest for illegal motion.
Well, watch the right side of the screen there. You'll see him move right over there, right side of the line on the offense.
So cancel that first big gain, and we'll just call it now 2nd down and 10. So it's back to long yardage again for Wake Forest. Brem comes out wide at the bottom of the screen. Clemens and Lamstor in the backfield. In motion again is Owens to the near sideline. Up the middle on the draw, and it's Ramseur to about the 31-yard line, a pickup of just about 6 yards. But again, a flag on the play.
Well, you know, a penalty really does hurt you, especially that 5-yard penalty offsides, because they had the momentum going there, making their 4 and 5 yards a crack. It just has a way of disrupting your team, and here they come back with another penalty. And usually when the penalty comes from the umpire, you can almost bet that it's holding.
So they'll march off some more yardage against Wake Forest, and the down will remain 2nd. But it's going to be an awful long trip. Call it 2nd and just about 18 yards to go. Take a look at the replay, and I think we'll see what's going on. 68 on the right side of your screen, moves over, makes contact.
Oh, yeah.
Open that hole for Ramseur.
Look at his arm. Look at it goes around his neck, too.
Now,
Come on, 68.
That's making sure you block, I guess. So it's 2nd down and a whole bunch for Wake Forest. 18 yards to go. In motion to the far sideline goes Owens. It's up the middle. And not a whole lot on that play. Virginia on the defense. Charles McDaniel, the junior from Fredericksburg, makes the tackle. He's the leading tackler for the University of Virginia this season. And an injured player on the field.
It looks like Tim Morrison, number 72, I believe, but I'm not positive. Yep, number 72, Tim Morrison. 6'3", 261 pounds. I just can't believe the size of these athletes today.
Well, Morrison's got a brother, Bobby, too, that plays, that is even a bigger fellow, 6'5", 297. They grow him big in the Morrison household.
Well, you know, one of the things we're going to be seeing today from Wake Forest and talking to Al Groh, their fine head coach, is they have a misdirection offense, and you'll see the fullback go one way and the line pulling the other way. And as you're following along, and most teams today using the I formation or using basically their fullbacks are nothing more than glorified blockers. and their guards that just come in there and knock somebody down. But in this offense, the fullback is very much of a ball carrier. Their fullback, Copper Clemens, is averaging 5.7 yards a carry, so they use their fullback very much so in their offense. And I believe that as we go along in this game, we will try to show you where their linemen are pulling, how they're using their various people in their blocking scheme.
The NFL season reaches its halfway point as the New Orleans Saints, with newly acquired Earl Campbell, face Tom Landry's Dallas Cowboys in a special Sunday night edition of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Now listen, following the presidential debate live at 9:40 Eastern Time. Of course, on Monday night, NFC West rivals square off. The Atlanta Falcons hosting the LA Rams in ABC's NFL Monday Night Football live at 9 Eastern. So Mike Patapis goes in to replace Tim Morrison as Morrison heads off the field. Hopefully not a serious injury.
Well, you know, Dan, we haven't really had a chance to talk about this, but right before the game, while they're warming up out there, Virginia lost their #1 starting right guard, Steve Carricker, and he sprained his ankle, so he'll be out of the game, and he's been having trouble ever since he's been here.
Is it the warm temperature? Does that have anything to do with this warm a game this late in the season at all?
No, I think you're excited to get ready to go, and you try hard and warm up than you should, and you get hurt.
So it's third down, and we'll call it 15 now. As Boy White operates from under center. Wake Forest leading 3-0. And there's again that motion as Ramseur takes it up. Still going. He's hit and finally brought down at the 33-yard line. And again, it's close, but I don't think quite enough as freshman Sean Scott, number 51 for Virginia, makes the tackle. Michael Ramseur, a nice run.
But watch here now. You look at the guards here. Watch your guards here. See him pull? The fullback goes to the right. The back counter steps, takes his play to the left, and he does some great running here. Now watch this move right there. He keeps his legs driving. That's good running right here, and a great play from behind number 51, freshman football player Sean Scott.
So they'll take a measure on fourth down. It looks a little short, and that's the indication from down on the field, just about a foot. And Al Groh, a very conservative gentleman, I think this early in the game, will choose to punt, especially when you've got Harry Newsom, who of course is among the nation's leaders in punting, averaging 43.7 yards a kick.
Good decision, I think, this early in the ball game. There's no need to take any chances, especially when you're 3 points up.
Back deep for the Cavaliers will be Ray Daly, number 8, as he awaits Newsom's kick. And Jeff Cook snapping for Wake Forest. A little bit of pressure, but Newsom gets it off. A nice kick. It's going way back, all the way back to the 12-yard line. Daly takes it right there on the fair catch. So a nice kick by Newsom, and again that points up the situation we've got here as the Demon Deacons take a very narrow 3-0 lead over Virginia on into the final moments of the first quarter. We'll be back with more college football following this word. Don Mahowski, Magic as they call him in Charlottesville, directs the Virginia offense. Back to pass, and a quick one to the left sideline. John Yuha runs it out at about the 23-yard line. Yuha covered by Rory Holt. Take a look at this one. ACC game, a lot going here as far as pride goes. North Carolina, 28-21, their second win of the year, a tough one at Chapel Hill. Miami putting it to Pittsburgh, 27-7. And here come the Cavaliers, first down, looking to the left side. And throwing well over the head of John Ford, the young freshman wideout. Donald Johnson, number 48 on the coverage for Wake Forest. So it'll be second down and 10. And take a look around the country. Boy, that was a tight one for Ohio State. 23-20. The Big Ten's tough this year.
Boy, oh boy.
That was pretty much expected. Duke has done a good job scoring 21 down there. They've had a hard time with their offense, hard time with injuries. And Harvard over Dartmouth, 21-7. So it's second down and 10. John Ford split to the right. And, of course, John Yuha in motion towards the near sideline. Mahowski fakes the handoff to Word, throws it across the way. Oh, just too tall for Yuha. Reggie Cummings, number 28 on the coverage for Wake Forest as Mahowski looks over the situation.
Let's watch here number 28. We're going to isolate on him. And watch their break, how he gets to the football. And this is a great defensive back. Now watch him move to the ball. Now watch him just keep hunting for the ball, looking to see what's going on. The ball is thrown high, and he's in position to make the tackle if he does catch the ball, or if it's tipped up high enough that he might be able to make the interception. Great camera work.
It's kind of the way free safety is supposed to be played, in other words, I guess. Third down and 10 as Mahowski checks signals with the backfield. Virginia, of course, out pretty much the classic eye. Fake up the middle, the pitch wide to Word. He cuts up, but is cut off again by McCummings. And still chomping around for about 5 yards in the game. Donald Johnson shuts the door, number 48 for Wake Forest. And Tony Gavarzik on the assist. A junior college transfer. Not too many JC transfers on these teams, but the guys they've gotten have been guys they need to help right away. So it's 4th down, and back to punt is Kevin Ferguson, I'm sorry. Reserve quarterback, and of course deep for the Deacons will be the tandem of Reggie McCummings and Rory Holt. Had a pretty good kick. A sensational kick. Drives Holt all the way back to his 21-yard line. He's trying to dodge. Gets away for half a second, but the rest of the Virginia coverage team gets down quickly. Scott Chapin, number 78, makes first contact. So we'll be back with more ACC action. Wake Forest leads Virginia. Field. In motion now, coming back across is James Brim, sophomore from Mount Airy, North Carolina. And a wholesale shift now, a little different wrinkle. And again, the handoff to Ramseur, cuts up inside, and he's met by a whole host of Virginia tacklers. 2-yard gain. Lester Lyles, all ACC, defensive back, a senior, makes the first contact.
You know, sometimes I get a chuckle out of seeing all that shifting around, because sometimes you line up there and you'll see the shift. We're going to get a chance to see the shifting here, and you'll see when they shift. Sometimes when they shift, you don't know where they're coming back to. So here they are, already shifted in position, and they're running that counter play again. See number 66 coming around on a pull, and of course Ramseur runs into his blocker there, but sometimes it causes confusion too. Back on the field.
2nd down and 8 to go. Boy White back to pass, looking for Brim. Now it's a quick toss after Michael Ramseur at about the 18-yard line. Nothing doing here. Lost about a yard on that one, as Virginia seemed to read that one quite well. It looked like kind of a screen that never really developed. Scott Hillman on the tackle, a junior for Virginia, number 31. And that was a pretty good read, I think, by the entire right side of the Virginia defense. Again, both coaches talked with, Fran, yesterday that they were not going to let it get out of hand like it did defensively last year in that 38-34 barn burner. They both felt they had such improved defenses that you're going to have to earn any points you scored today. So it'll be Wake Forest in their spread offense. David Chambers in at wide receiver. Here's a pass down across to Chambers, just a little too tough to handle. And there's William Frazier on the coverage.
Again, Al Groh reminded us before the game that this is a spread offense and not a shotgun offense. He says there is a difference, and he wants it known as a spread offense. So I got a kick out of that.
So Virginia gets a great hand from the fans here. It hasn't been too long ago that you didn't hear too many cheers for the Cavaliers defense, but they've come along. Newsom back to punt for the Deacons. He cranked out a 55-yarder last time around. Of course, Ray Daly, number 8, back for the Cavaliers, about the 35-yard line. Newsom gets another good one. Not quite as far, but still a very nice punt to the 30-yard line. Daly goes left, cuts inside of the blockers, and is down at the 40-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers of Virginia, as they're hunting for a way to penetrate the Wake Forest defense. Scott Roberts on the tackle, a sophomore, 5'11", 219. Wake Forest again holds very tenuously their 3-0 lead. And do you expect Ford to play a bigger role as we go into the game, or can you overuse a guy like that?
Well, I think his presence allows the defensive backs, as they are right now, lining up over there towards him. So that's important.
First down at the 40-yard line. Word's up the middle to about the 48-yard line. Nice carry by Barry Word, 6'2", junior, 214 pounds. On the tackle again, Donald Johnson. Strong safety for Wake Forest.
Now watch here. We'll look again here and see. Now watch Ward right here. Use his eyes. Now he's waiting to see when he gets the ball. He cuts back. And this fellow right here is a world-class sprinter, and he was in the Olympic trials, so you know he can run, and that's that speed we talked about.
2nd down, up the middle for just a little bit.
This is what George Welsh wants to do, Dan. He wants to get a hold of the game. He wants to get control of it. He wants to make it 1st and 10 and just consistently keep the ball away from Wake Forest, and so far he's been doing that except for that big mistake he made.
So Antonio Rice gets the 1st down for the Cavaliers at about the 49-yard line of Wake Forest. Willie Snead, another freshman, is in at wide out on the left side. And it's a quick toss, but don't get defense in the way of that one, as the pass was batted away by Bruce Mark, number 91, who has had problems with an injury, did not start today, but has made a return.
Well, number 27 there, Willie Snead, was a high school teammate of John Ford in Belgrade, Florida, so those guys can fly.
The Mahowski not having some great numbers. 1 for 5 so far. They one completion, of course, for 11 yards. It's second down and 10. And again, the option looking wide. Here comes Word. Holt comes out to knock him out of bounds at about the 45-yard line of Wake Forest. And that'll make it about third down and 6 yards. Marvin Young, a helping hand. So let's take a look at some more scores around the nation today. Penn State handling Syracuse 21-3. Syracuse not quite as tough in that one as I thought they might be. Virginia Tech over William and Mary in the fourth quarter, pretty much as expected, 31-14. And Chattanooga shut out VMI 35-0. That one's not quite over. So third down and 6. Mahowski back to pass again. Heavy pressure from Wake Forest. The screen set up. It's Word up the middle. He's to the 35 and down to the 33-yard line.
And that's what makes Mikowski such a dangerous quarterback, because of the great talent that he has. He gets back there and they don't know where he can go because he can run and jump and do so many things. Watch the pressure coming in on the quarterback here, and you'll see what we're talking about. And he gets back in the pocket. Now watch number 54 come flying through there, unblocked, and look at him dance around back there.
Randall Singleton doing a great job of
Singleton, and he goes ahead and what a great play. Mikowski's the guy they like to have in there.
First down now at the 33-yard line. Mahowski going to try it again. He's back to pass. Short one over the middle. It's complete at about the 26-yard line. Gino Zimmerlin, the backup tight end, who is plenty dangerous. He has a lot of receptions, and the coaches were saying he gets a little bit better every game. He's still not starting, but having a great junior season. Reggie McCummings, number 28 on the coverage in that play.
Of course, that's what Welsh likes about Mikowski, because he just keeps getting better and better, and he's only a sophomore.
Second down now, about 4 to go, rather. Mahowski decides to take it up the middle. And he gets to the 20-yard line. Rory Holt on the tackle, 5'10", 159-pound defensive back. He's a junior from Lexington, North Carolina.
That was a talented move, but there's going to be a penalty on the flag. There's a flag on the field there. Looks like it might be holding. Yeah. Mikowski came down the line, saw daylight, and very quickly turned inside. And as we said on the top of the show, talent really does, in the long run, pay off for you. And this is what George Welsh has done a fantastic job, as Al Grove, too, is bringing in talented athletes, guys with ability that can do things on their own.
So that'll back it up to just about the 34-yard line. And they use of hands against Virginia and make it a very long 11-yard play coming up.
The flag go down very quickly there, so we could get a chance. But look at this move that Mikowski makes very quickly inside. Good move.
Second down. Back to live action. Across the middle. It's complete. And Willie Sneed on the catch. Again, Rory Holt on the coverage. And they'll mark it at about the 29-yard line of Wake Forest. So still well short of the first down. They need to get to the 23. And it's third down. As Mahowski talks things over in the huddle. Willie Sneed, 3 catches for 27 yards so far. Ford and Sneed, the 2 freshmen in wideout positions. Mahowski rolls to the left, looking downfield. Cuts back across. Oh! That was one of those situations where Barry Ward got caught kind of in between a step and a catch there. The ball was there, but he was just about ready to fall down and continued that motion, I think, Fran.
Well, there was a great block. You'll see right here. Now, watch the block on the defensive end coming to the right of your screen there. You see the block right there. I think right there Mikowski could have turned and run the ball, and I think he would have made his 1st and 10. But even though he threw the ball back to Barry Word, and it was just a little bit behind him, and he should have made the catch, but it's one of those unfortunate things. They're going to go for field goal here.
So Kenny Stanton will try a 46-yarder well within his range. He hit a 56-yard field goal, the school record against Virginia Tech earlier this year. Ezekiel was on the hold. It may be long enough. It is, but just wide to the right. So plenty of foot, just not quite enough accuracy. As Stanton comes home empty. Wake Forest maintains its 3-0 lead over Virginia with 1:52 to play in the first quarter. Just about 2 yards. As we touched on earlier, Clemens not really a true fullback in the sense of throwing blocks. I guess they let the offensive lineman do that, but a very, very strong running back, averaging 5.7 yards a carry, and has yet to be thrown for a loss this season.
Well, it makes your defense play the entire line of scrimmage by having 2 backs who can run the ball and having the blocking scheme that they have by pulling their guards and tackles and trapping people. So you have to protect every gap in the defensive line.
So it's second down for Wake Forest in motion. David Chambers to the top of your screen. Right back to look at the little throw. Oh, nice catch. Clemens once again on the reception. He's got long fingers. Out of bounds at about the 36-yard line, again short of a first down by about 3 yards. William Frazier, senior, on the tackle, left cornerback for Virginia. And
well, interestingly enough, here you'll see here on this, as we look at it again, he gets pressure quickly, but he throws the ball out to watch this great one-handed catch. But he's the leading pass receiver on a football team. Right there, your fullback, and that is very unusual. So
Clemens goes out to the reception, and Chip Reeves will be back in the backfield for the Deacons. 6'2", 214-pound freshman. As again, Wake goes to the spread. White looking downfield. He throws a quick one. Oh, Ransour in and out. Good coverage. Now Bob Sweeney, a senior free safety for the University of Virginia. And that'll bring up fourth down. And again, I feel Al Groh certainly will punt this one. No question on this.
Well, you know, Dan, something that's very fascinating to me, that George Welsh was an All-American quarterback at Navy as a player, and yet he's developed into one of the best defensive coaches in the country. Everywhere he's been, he was a defensive coach at Penn State, and here he is at Virginia having one of the best defenses in the Atlantic Coast Conference. So that just goes to show you how people are geared up sometimes.
Ray Daly deep to receive the Cavaliers. I've noticed the last couple of possessions, Newsom has been backing them up just a little bit. He's averaging just over 48 yards a kick. As Virginia makes motions like they're going to come in, and I think Wake Forest is trying to draw somebody off sides. Let's see what happens.
I think it was a play game.
Too much time.
Get the snap off, yeah.
Wake Forest has been known to do that. Situations where it's less than 5 yards. Wait a while.
Well, Wake Forest has not made a third down conversion yet. They're 0 for 4.
So it'll be... Take a look at today's official referee, Robin Wood, Scott Dawson, the umpire, linesman Bill Jamerson. And you can see the rest of the officiating crew on hand for a great ACC game today. 3-0, Wake Forest, just about a minute, 6 seconds left to play. Newsom back deep to punt, and I think this one will get underway a little sooner as everybody in Wake Forest takes a look. Newsom almost had his last one blocked. I think Virginia succeeded in shaking up Wake Forest blocking scheme just a little bit. High snap. Newsom bangs it. 21-yard line. That's Daly. Takes it up the right side. But again, Wake Forest hems him in. There's a flag on the play, though. Let's take a close look at that.
We've got 2 flags on the field.
So it'll be pick and choose, I guess, in the officiating crew.
Well, what makes Newsom such a threat and a great kicker, that snap was way up high, and he jumps up in the air and catches it. Most kickers, that would knock you off your rhythm. It didn't knock him off his rhythm. Not only did it not knock him off his rhythm, he kicked a 47-yard punt. So that's a valuable weapon that you have that you don't even hardly count.
Well, the Cavaliers guilty of clipping on that play, so they'll mark it off from about the 30-yard line. And that will once again put Virginia in a pretty deep hole. They haven't had a tremendous amount of field position as the game has progressed here. And they'll take it over now at the 14-yard line.
So far, Virginia has been its own worst enemy. They fumbled the ball, and they've had several key penalties, and it's really a problem. Here's some more scores.
Well, we've still got an update for you. Not finished yet. Virginia Tech 38-14 over William and Mary. Navy hammering Princeton 34-3 in the fourth quarter. First down at the 14-yard line for the University of Virginia. Mahowski still in at quarterback. Taking up the middle to Petty. He's got some daylight. Down to about the 23-yard line. Malcolm Hairston on the tackle for Wake Forest. And Petty picks up some nice yardage.
Of course, that's the play you have to make work when you use the I formation. You must use the isolation play. Your fullback has to go in there and block somebody, and you just got to have a back that has the eyes that can find that daylight. So certainly, Petty is one of those kinds.
Second down and 2 for Virginia's Cavaliers. Mahowski goes up the middle to Steve Morris, his fullback, 5'11", 212-pounder. It's enough for the first down. Malcolm Hairston again on the tackle for Wake Forest. And Tony Grabarczyk with an assist.
You know, Dan, I can't hardly believe it. This is the end of the first quarter here. We got less than 10 seconds to go. This quarter has flown by.
So Virginia will wind out the few seconds left in the first quarter. Mahowski rolling left, looking downfield. Horn goes off, and it's complete. Quanah Bullock, another freshman in this Virginia lineup, 5'7", 166-pounder. He backs up with freshman John Ford. And flanker
look at here. You go back here. It's a fake isolation play. What's so impressive is the way Mikowski stands tall and throws the ball running to his left, which is very difficult to do, and threw the ball back to his right on a perfect strike.
So at the end of the first quarter, the score stands Wake Forest 3, Virginia nothing. We'll be back with more exciting ACC CFA football following this word. We'll go back and try another pass. Newhaw goes, up, but it's too tall. Good coverage by Wake Forest. Rory Holtz.
Okay, we'll see here on the defense that you can see his problems. You can see the safety man right in the middle of your screen. He's playing up closer than most safeties, and he must be reading somebody because now he runs to the middle. Now watch 15 on the bottom screen. That's where the ball's going. And if Mikowski has an error in his game, right now he's throwing the ball into a crowd. Now you see two people right around the receiver there, and that's a very dangerous throw and shouldn't do it.
So it's second down for Virginia at the 48-yard line. A little hop, skip, and jump across the left side. Still going. Gino Zimmerlink all the way down to the 26-yard line. That was just hard running. Reggie McCummings finally gets him down.
I can see why George Welsh likes him and keeps saying he gets better every game, so what an outstanding effort.
A 26-yard pass play. Mahowski to Gino Zimmerlink.
Here we are right here. Now look here. Watch him fake a boot. He comes back on his own. There's unblocked defensive player there, number 67. He throws the ball a little bit behind him. What a great catch. Now watch this effort here. Three people hitting. He spins, he turns, he keeps his legs going. What an effort.
First down at the 26-yard line. There goes Howard Petty around the right side. He's through the 20 to 15 and down to the 12-yard line. So Virginia's got something cooking. Howard Petty on the carry. 6'1", 204-pound sophomore.
Of course, the old grads love that. You know, you can see them all getting excited out there.
And another first down for Virginia.
Here we go here. Now watch the pitcher, number 11. He sees his blocking scheme setting up. Now watch the block here on number 53. You bypasses him. Here, what's 29? Right here. Keep your eye on 29. Look at that block on 28 right there. What a great job. Steve Morris, number 29.
First down for Virginia. The handoff up the middle of Petty again. He's down to about the 6-yard line. Roy Holtz on the tackle for the Wake Forest Deacons. And I tell you, Mr. Petty's having himself a field day today. Unofficially 7 carries, 42 yards. Of course, Petty had a great day last year against Wake Forest, carrying 181 yards, carrying 35 times.
He's the guy that Welsh likes to have in there, but you got to give credit to that offensive line. They've got to make contact with those defensive players, not lose them, then a good back's got to find a crack.
Second down and about 2 yards to go at the 5-yard line. Of course, Virginia can get a first down and still miss a touchdown. Mahowski goes left. Here's the pitch. You know who? Howard Petty in for a touchdown.
They needed to make it seem a little easy, didn't they? It was an option play. Look at those fans. They're loving it. Homecoming crowd. Parents' Day. Old Jefferson would have been proud of the school, wouldn't he?
Howard Petty. And on to add the extra point, Mr. Consistency, Kenny Stanley. And he gets this one and is now one short of the school record for successful conversions. He's got 38. The record is 39. 85-yard drive in 8 plays in 2 minutes and 36 seconds as the Virginia Cavaliers go in front 7-3 over Wake Forest with about 13-19 left to play.
Now watch here. Diaz fakes inside to the fullback, and here's where he makes the play. He pitches the ball. Mikowski saw daylight outside, pitched the ball here to Petty. Now watch him go inside. Boy, he saw that crack, and he headed for the goal line. He made up for that fumble error. There is Howard Petty right there.
So the Cavaliers have taken the lead at Scott Stadium. 7-3 over Wake Forest University. Lead on an 85-yard touchdown drive, showing some pretty strong football there.
You know, the start of the year, George Welsh had to make a tough decision. You know, he had to take Kevin Ferguson, who's a great athlete in his own right, and come in with a sophomore quarterback, Don Mikowski, and he has really helped this football team out because he can run the option play. That's the play he has to use in order to make the I formation go so well. So he's putting it all together slowly, piece by piece, and Welsh is doing a fantastic job.
And Kenny Stanley set to kick off for the Cavaliers. Back deep for Wake Forest. Darrell McGill, a freshman, one of the most celebrated freshmen running backs to come out of the state of North Carolina and signed with Wake Forest in quite some time. At the goal line, McGill up the center of the field. Cutting a little bit right. He's the 20, 25-yard line to the 26, and he is snowed under by Virginia's defense. Mark Wiley on the tackle for Virginia. As a coach, how tough is it to coach homecoming? Do you feel a little extra pressure?
I think you feel a little extra pressure, but that's why you like to sometimes have a team you feel like you have a chance to win. Look at that score right there. Texas 24, Arkansas 10.
So, Foy White at quarterback. Copper Clemens and Michael Ramsey in the backfield. Dwayne Owens comes in motion to the near side. Handoff up to Copper Clemens, and he gets maybe one. And that's about it. Scott Matheson on the stop for Virginia with assist from David Bond.
Watch 41 here, the linebacker. One of the outstanding players, and he really does get after people.
So it's second down and 8 yards to go as the Deacons come up to the line of scrimmage. James Brim is cut wide to the bottom of your screen. In motion again. This time it's David Chambers. Little movement on the line. And Ramsua tries to find somewhere to go. He gets to the 30-yard line, a pickup of 2 yards. Lester Lyles on the stop, coming up from his strong safety position. With an assist from Ron Matties, the left tackle, number 98. Another hefty example of George Wells' recruiting. Matties is 6'7", 286 pounds.
Well, Lester Lyles is an all-ACC player last year, and he's an outstanding player, and the pros are just really drooling over him. 6'3", 215-pound senior, so he's really the mainstay of their defense.
So it's Owens and Brim split wide to the left side on a third down and 6-yard situation for Wake Forest. And things get a little confusing.
The clock got him again.
So Wake will pick up 5 more yards in penalties on a delay of game, and I think that will change the play perhaps.
Well, they're 0 for 5 now on third down conversion, so they're keep putting themselves in a little bit of a hole.
Is it a situation where Foy's having a hard time reading the defense? Is he waiting for something to happen, or is it just simply a miscommunication?
Well, sometimes the play comes in a little bit late, too, and I'm sure he is trying to read the defense, but there really is no excuse for that. You got to get the play off.
So it's Owens and Brim out wide as you check that final from Virginia Tech and William and Mary. Third down and 12 to go. In motion towards the near sideline is Dwayne Owens. He cuts upfield. Foy White looking deep. He's got it to Brim. Oh, just a little bit out of reach. A little bumper down the line between Brim and Bob Sweeney, a senior free safety. No flag. And it will be fourth down for Wake Forest. And another strong hand for the Cavalier defense.
Well, they've got something to be proud of over here now, and they really do enjoy their football, and it's just nice to see such a great stadium here with all these people.
So it's Newsom back to punt. And, of course, Ray Daly for the reception. Newsom hammers another one, coming down at the 31-yard line for Daly, who takes a couple of steps, brings it up to the 35. And the Wake Forest Demon Deacons will take over first down at their own 35-yard line, trailing 7-3 as we return following these words. It was yesterday about Ferguson's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and the kind of guy that may be wearing down the defense on the option play.
Well, maybe taking a page out of South Carolina's offense because they're using 2 quarterbacks and just wearing people out with it, and perhaps George Welsh knows he's got 2 outstanding quarterbacks and he uses them both.
Ferguson, a sophomore, 6'3", 209 pounds. And Antonio Rice, now the backfield at fullback. Give the word up the middle to about the 45-yard line. Barry Word showing a little bit more of that Olympic sprinting speed. Had a clocking of 13.88, I think, in the high hurdles this past spring, and got a little bit more notice from the pro scouts after that. I don't think anyone realized he was quite that quick. So it's third down and just about 2 yards to go for the Cavaliers. Gino Zimmerlink back into the game. A 2 tight end offense. Hitchcock on one side, Zimmerlink on the other side. I think we can expect something right up the middle. In motion, Muha. He goes back where he came from. And a pitch back to Word. He's looking. Good penetration by Wake Forest defense. And nothing doing on that play. In fact, a loss of about 2 yards as Wake Forest sniffed it out. And it will be fourth down for the Cavaliers. Steve Lambert, number 81, a sophomore for Wake Forest. The man that spoiled things. As Ferguson looks to the sidelines, no question, let's punt it.
Of course, he stays in the ball game because he is their fine punter.
Back deep for the Deacons, of course, will be Rory Holt and Reggie McCummings. As Virginia gets a chance to put Wake a little bit deep with a great punt. Of course, we've had some outstanding kicks today so far. Wind is definitely not a factor. As Ferguson hits another low one, but it's long enough. It'll be picked up at the 22 by McCummings, and he'll take it up to the 26-yard line. So with the score, 7-3, Virginia over Wake Forest. 9:56 left to play in the second quarter. We'll be back with more ACC 3. James Brem and Dwayne Owens split out wide. Ramseur and Clemens in the backfield, along with quarterback Foy White, who has so far gone all the way. A little bit of uncertainty on the splits even up. And White looks around. He's got problems, and down he goes. At the 18-yard line, Scott Hillman on the sack. The right defensive end, a junior, 6'3", 225 for the University of Virginia. And some strong pressure. They'll mark it back now at the 19-yard line.
Scott Hillman, you see him right there, really was an intelligent rusher there. He didn't come wild. He was waiting for the quarterback almost to run to him. And as he did, he forced him out of the pocket, and pressure came in behind, and it made a big play. That's a big play for Virginia.
So Wake Forest has got another long yardage situation. Second down and just about 18 yards to go. Brevin Owens split out to the left side and right side, respectively. Boy, White going downfield to Brem, but a good, strong defensive play by the Virginia Cavaliers. Stuart Mines, the linebacker, got over and he did just what he's supposed to do on that one, getting a good
gets a great
drive.
shot from the end zone here, and you'll see the pressure coming in. He has to throw the ball right there. Number 41 comes in from around the blocker, and it was almost intercept the pass when he put the pressure on the quarterback.
So a couple of replacements. Chip Reeves goes in and fullback for the Deacons. David Chambers and Owens alternating. It's Chambers in this time. And in motion goes Dwayne Owens to the right. Over the middle, Brem wasn't really looking for the pass that time, I don't think. Ray Daly almost got it for the Virginia Cavaliers. He's a little upset at himself, but it's fourth down. And once again, Wake Forest will have to call on Harry Newsom to bail him out.
And that's 0 for 7 on third down conversion. So they're really using the defense down here at Virginia.
Newsom back to punt. Averaging just about 47.2 yards on his kicks. Back deep, Ray Daly, number 8, Cavaliers. Low snap, but Newsom, as we said earlier, has plenty of control out there. Picks it up, pops it down to the 34-yard line. Daly picks it up the middle. He's got something going. He's to the 48-yard line. 13-yard gain. And once again, Virginia will be in business. Daly a little bit slow getting up. Toby Cole on the tackle for Wake Forest. Well, exciting CFA college football action continues as Southwest Conference powers clash. Number 3 ranked Texas hosting number 6 ranked SMU, and the Fighting Irish. Left flag on the play. He'll get to about the 49-yard line. Mikowski back in replacing Ferguson. And let's take a look and see what the officials come up with. Wake Forest indicating it's against Virginia, and indeed it is. Holding. And that will back things up for Virginia.
He's got Mikowski back in the ball game. He used Ferguson on the last series, but he's got him back in the ball game. Here's a score right there. Looky here.
University of Houston, believe me, they've had trouble this year scoring. They're having no problems with SMU right now. Auburn laying the lumber to Georgia Tech. And Tech has had problems winning here the last couple of weeks. Chattanooga shutting out VMI. That's now official, 35-0.
I believe last week against Georgia Tech, I don't think Virginia had a penalty the whole game.
They played, I believe, the entire game without one, which is, I think, the first time in nearly 10 years they've done that. So in NY, John Ford and John Muha split for the Cavaliers. Mikowski back to pass, looking downfield, and flips one to Muha. He catches it at the 42-yard line. Nice sliding catch there.
Well, he did the right thing there. He caught the ball first instead of trying to run with it. So even though he had to make a sliding catch, he knew he was wide open. He wished he could have caught the ball up higher, so he ran with it. But he did the number one thing that a good receiver will do. Now watch here. Mikowski is back in the pocket. They love this throwback. He looks downfield to the right. He turns back, throws the ball right. Now watch the sliding catch. Beautiful shot there. Great camera work.
So second down in inches for the University of Virginia. Mikowski hands off up the middle to Barry Ward. He's got some daylight. He's outside. He's at 30 to 25 to 20. He may break it all the way to the 10-5. Touchdown. Barry Ward brings it all the way in from 43 yards out.
You talk about world-class speed. You saw it right there, brother. Once he saw that daylight, he turned on the jet. What a great run. What a valuable athlete.
So Barry Word ups the score, 13-3. Virginia. A 43-yard touchdown run down the left side. Kenny Stanton will get a chance to tie the school record for conversion points here. He's got 38, gunning for 39. And the way things are going, he may get a chance to beat it later on in this game. It's good. A 52-yard drive on just 2 plays as the Virginia Cavaliers take control.
Okay, now watch this play here. Look at the blocking of the fullback, leads up here. Now watch him cut back. Word cuts back to his left, and he makes a one-chance tackle there. He jukes that man. Now here he goes. Now watch him turn on the afterburners. He is now accelerating his speed. That's what a great track man do. He just ran away from number 28, Reggie McCummins.
So as Barry Word takes a breather after that 43-yard line touchdown run, we'll take time out for these messages with Virginia leading Wake Forest 14-3.
Team number 71, the center comes off the block, and number 71 takes Singleton all the way inside. Now here's your back running right away from him. That's blocking up front. That's what you want your lineman to do. Now watch him really turn it on right here. He's stretching it out. Beautiful play, beautiful blocking.
So we've got 7:50 left before halftime. Virginia taking a 14-3 lead. Kenny Stanton back to kick off as the strategy session continues. Mikowski and Coach George Welsh.
Dan, in the first half, we have here Wake Forest with a total of 80 yards. Virginia with a total of 234 yards. How about that?
53 yards in 2 plays that last drive in just over a minute. As the Cavaliers, Kenny Stanton gets ready to kick deep to Darrell McGill for the Beaver Deacons. Another long kick, and McGill will watch this one bound around and let it stay. So a touchback. Wake Forest will get the ball 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. I think it's time to do something about the score. The Deacons are having problems moving the ball. Foy White, of course, stays in at quarterback. They scored the first time they got the ball in the turnover, 52 yards for a field goal, and it's been pretty much all Virginia since, defensively and offensively. So it's 1st down. Owens and Brim split wide to the right and left. Up the middle for just a couple. And again, Virginia playing it so tough inside.
It just seems to me the more we go on with the game, the more the Virginia defense is getting a feel of the Wake Forest offense, and they're really starting to take control of that offensive defensive line.
So Ramseur picks up just about 3 yards. Scott Ertz gets underneath number 90 for Virginia to make the tackle. It's 2nd down and 7. David Chambers back in the game. He split wide along with James Brim. And a little bit of something going on. Boy, White, look, and here comes Virginia. And let's decide what they'll see. Hillman knocks it loose. And the officials will call it a forward pass.
There's a blitz on here. Now watch the pressure coming from the quarterback. Put yourself in the quarterback's position right here. He turns around and he all of a sudden looks up and there's orange everywhere coming very angrily at him. But his arm did go forward. Good call by the official.
It was definitely going forward. Hillman, of course, the man to make the contact there. And it's 3rd down now. And still 7 yards to go for Wake Forest. As Chip Reeves checks in along with David Chambers into the lineup. Chambers wide at the bottom of your screen. And Dwayne Owens is also in. Now there seems to be some more confusion. Michael Ramseur looked around to Foy White as if to say, now wait a second, what do you want me to do? So they call a timeout and they'll talk this one over. With about 7 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in Scott Stadium. Well, this program is being brought to you as an exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Now let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
This is WJLA-TV, Washington's Channel 7.
So back again, Fran. We've got a tough situation for Wake Forest. The spread offense, or whatever you'd like to call it, hasn't worked too well, at least right now. And Virginia seems to have studied the film.
To me, every time they line up in their spread offense, Virginia blitzes them and puts the pressure on the quarterback to make him throw on rhythm. They jump into a man-to-man coverage on defense so that they've got to throw the ball very quickly. As we said earlier, Wake Forest is 0 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. And here again, another one of those 3rd down conversions And they've really not moved the ball hardly at all after the first quarter score that they got 3 points out of. So they're really having a problem here. And here's George Welsh. What an outstanding job he's done here at Virginia.
So
they love him.
Seemed to be, excuse me, Fran, that Michael Ramseur was not supposed to be on that play. He goes out. And again, heavy pressure on Foy White, and he goes down. Ron Matthews, number 98. That big 286-pound fellow we were talking about earlier, gets the sack on Foy White. And again, as you're saying, when they spread out, Virginia sends everybody.
Welsh is going to come at him with everything he has and make him throw the ball the perfect pass to get it in there. He's not going to have time to throw the long pass. So George just lifts his chops when he sees that spread formation.
So Newsom will go back to punt it. And, of course, Ray Daly back to receive for the Cavaliers. Newsom averaging 47.1 yards a kick. Another bomb down to about the 29-yard line. Daly looks around, tries to find something going. They've got a wall set up. He cuts back to about the 41-yard line of the Cavaliers. Nice return. Ken Grantham on the tackle for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Well, Fran, coming up next week, I know something that's near to your heart, New York City Marathon. 18,000 runners competing in America's. Forest again had that one defensed well. Tony Scott in on another tackle, the senior 6'2", 230-pounder for the Deacons, and we'll call it no gain as the officials mark it. Now step it back just a little bit.
You just have to be impressed with Harry Newsom, their great punter. He punted a 56-yard punt. He's got 7 punts for 339 yards. That's the best offensive weapon they've had so far.
So it's second down, loss of about a half a yard for the Cavaliers, who got their wideout split to the bottom of the screen. Mikowski hands off up the middle of Petty. He's got something going to about the 48-yard line. Pickup of 7 on that, depending on where the officials will mark it. Tony Scott on the tackle again with an assist from Malcolm Hairston, number 26 for Wake Forest.
Well, you'll see here that the best production of yardage you're making is right at them. They feel very comfortable running right at them. The end run plays right now is being outmanned by Wake Forest, but when they run right at Wake, they're giving them problems.
They're down at 3. The Cavaliers line it up in the regular I formation. And it's the fullback. No, it's Barry Word acting as tailback. There he goes, loose for just a short time, enough for the first down to the 45-yard line. Donald Johnson, number 48 on the tackle for Wake Forest. But another nice pickup for Barry Word of 7 yards. More than enough for the first down. And again, the Cavaliers just moving the ball right down the field.
When they go right at them, they have their best production. But again, Wake Forest, in a third and short situation, came with a blitz. And that's when you break one, you go all the way because you got no second line defense.
So first to 10, John Ford and John Muha split out wide to the right. Mikowski takes up the middle. He's going to throw it. He's got Ford breaking loose over the middle. Double coverage, and I don't think that one's going to get home. And down goes the official. And everybody's talking to everybody down there. I think the official's about the maddest one in that group. Burgess on the coverage of Ford, and they had him pretty well spotted on that play.
Well, that's a situation where Mikowski has to learn not to do that. There was 3 defensive people around the great receiver, John Ford, and he just went ahead and threw the ball anyway. He just got to learn to scramble around back there and find somebody else. Look at those statistics.
Second down and 10 for Virginia. Mikowski sends Muha in motion to the top of your screen. Takes a handoff. He'll cut up inside, too. He's got some daylight. He's to the 35, down to the 32-yard line. Kenny Grantham makes the tackle for Wake Forest. And again, a first down. 12-yard run.
Again, Mikowski, yes, you can see what an asset he is to the football team because of the ability to run the option play. They've got Petty and Word to run outside, and boy, when he turns inside, you got an additional back in the backfield.
So into the game now. Quanah Bullock split wide, replacing John Ford and John Muha. Mikowski going to try it again. He flipped it out to Bullock. He takes it and takes it out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Ronnie Burgess, number 25 for Wake Forest on the tackle. And Bullock makes the reception just beyond the first down. They'll take a look. No, it's a first down, the official signal. So Wake Forest still yet to solve the Virginia offensive puzzle. And it'll be first down now at the 22-yard line for UVA. Mikowski fakes a handoff to Word. He's looking downfield. Lets it low. There's Everlake. Oh, almost. Almost.
That would have been the greatest catch I would have seen this year, but he almost pulled it off.
Rory Holt on the coverage, number 5 from Wake Forest. And that That's called making your quarterback almost look good.
Well, you can see right here the fake again, the Barry Ward that scares everybody. He just throws the ball up. He's really got him beat back there, but just a little bit overthrown and almost a one-handed over-the-shoulder catch.
So Willie Snead comes in at wideout along with Quantabullock. And in motion goes Snead to the top of your screen. Hand off up the middle. And still going. Steve Morris down to about the 16-yard line. I think Wake was looking for that second part of the option.
That's right. They're just going, every time they run right at Wake, it really gives Wake the problems.
Morris, of course, as you can see, averaging 5.3 yards a carry so far this season. And it's 3rd down and 4 to go for Virginia at the Wake Forest 16-yard line. Bullock and Snead again spread out to the right side. Fake to Morris. Mikowski will take it to the right to the 10-yard line. Nice tackle. Steve Lambert, number 81 for Wake Forest, takes Mikowski down at the 10-yard line. But once again, that's more than enough for a first down, and Virginia marches on.
And Dan, you can see the problems that it causes Wake. They got the great speed outside with Ford, Muha, Snead, and those guys. He's got the great speed in the backfield with Ward and Petty, and now he's got the quarterback as the additional runner. So they really got a problems to the other team.
So it's Snead and Bullock to the bottom of the screen. And Mikowski calling signals. Hand off up the middle to Barry Ward. Goes to the 5. Steve Lambert, number 81 again for Wake Forest, in on the tackle. As Word continues to pick up yardage. We hate to belabor the point, but again, right up the middle. Not too fancy there.
Well, Harold Guerin, their fine center, just lines up and just blows them off there every time and giving an awful lot of daylight for the back to cut right or left, and they're just running right at them. They really give them problems when they do that.
So it's Muha out, and Quantabullock in at wide receiver. Mikowski tries Word again. He's got some situations just like he had them before, and it's another touchdown. Beautiful blocking scheme. Bob Olderman.
Dan, what little I know about George Welsh, I will tell you, you will see them go right at Wake Forest the rest of the ball game until they stop it. That's the kind of coach he is. He repeats good plays. Watch this play right here again.
Number 79.
Nothing fancy. Good block by the fullback. He cuts back and just running over people. He will do that now for the rest of the game until they stop it.
So the Cavaliers march at 59 yards in 11 plays and take a 20-3 lead. And again, Stanley trying for a school record here. He's got it. 40 in a row for Kenny Stanley.
Okay, now watch the blocking up front here. Watch the line come off the ball here. What a great block. Look at the block by the fullback. That's the play right there. Then it's just a matter of Word running in with his great speed. But the block was made by Steve Morris, number 29 of fullback. He's really nothing more than another lineman in the backfield.
So Virginia takes a 21-3 lead after a 59-yard march in 11 plays, chewing up 3 minutes and 49 seconds of the clock. We still got 2:36 left to play in the first half, and I think Wake Forest probably is looking for the second half to come, or halftime to come around and make some adjustments or do something, because right now nothing seems to be working as far as the defensive scheme.
I'll tell you what amazed me about just being here and listening to all these people singing and having a big time. Would you believe this 3 years ago when everybody said, what in the world is George Welsh going to Navy, to Virginia from Navy? And here he is. These people are loving it. They're having a big time. And, of course, now he's looking like a genius.
So it will be Stadlin kicking off as Word goes 5 yards, and the extra kick makes it 21-3. Deep for Wake Forest again will be Darrell McGill. He chose not to return Stadlin's last kick. And this one's a little bit shorter. McGill will take a chance on this one. Oh, a nice catch. Low kick up to the 20, to the 23-yard line. McGill goes down. Vincent Toy on the tackle. And McGill saved himself a little embarrassment on that. That was a nice catch. Misjudged the punt apparently just a little bit.
Al Groh has got a tough position right now with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. You don't want to make a mistake down here and give Virginia another quick touchdown to go in 28. So they've got to be careful not to have an interception or a fumble here and just regroup when they go back in at halftime.
So it will be Brim to the right side as the Deacons get ready to take a last shot at UVA here in the first half. Boy White comes out throwing. He's looking up the middle. Ramsour's got it at about the 26-yard line. And a total gain of about 3 yards, but the short passing game is what Wake seems to do best. Charles McDaniel, the leading tackler on the Virginia team, wraps up Ramseur. And it will be third down and 7 now, or second down and 7, with 2:10 and counting left on the clock as we wind the first half down.
Unless they come out in the spread, they'll be in a zone defense in the back and just letting them try to hurt us here. So here they are in their spread formation.
So a new look for Wake Forest on the spread. Chambers back in, of course, as a receiver. And again, White looking for someone. Wazorek makes the catch. Kevin Wazorek, 6'3", 216-pound senior, makes the catch, but not a whole lot of yardage, and they still face a third down and 3 after a completion to the 30-yard line.
Here it is right here. He's back in the pocket. Now watch the pressure come, moves him out of the pocket right here. And then, of course, he's just trying to make the short completions, and that's not the way to get it because you're in a deep zone defense. This is another one of those third down conversions here. They've missed 8 of them.
So 1:16 left to play. Third down and 3 for Wake Forest, probably their last chance of doing something. More pressure on White. He flips it out to Chambers just over his head. And it will bring up another fourth down situation for the Demon Deacons.
Again, now watch McDaniel here with the pressure coming in. You can see him right there coming hard. And, of course, this forced the quarterback to have to throw off a rhythm. And, of course, they're trying to get an interception from him. Boy, he buried him, didn't he? There was no question what he was going to do.
So it's Harry Newsom into punt for the Demon Deacons. And Ray Daly back deep, number 8 for the Cavaliers. First snap, it bounces to him. Newsom just barely gets it away. Daddy comes up to catch the short kick, and he'll take a fair catch at the 35-yard line. And you've got to give Newsom a little award or something for courage because he had everybody all around him.
I don't know how he got that ball off. It looked to me like he must have kicked right through a picket fence.
Stuart Mines was in on top. But again, I guess the Cavaliers made sure they didn't make contact with Newsom, and he was able to sneak it out of there some way. So it's first down for the Cavaliers at the 35-yard line. 58 seconds left to play. Mikowski back in at quarterback. And Bullock comes wide to the bottom of the screen. Of course, Mikowski 8 for 16 for 107 yards so far today. Quick toss out to Snead, incomplete, just a little bit outside his grasp. Roy Holt on the coverage for Wake Forest. And that incompletion stops the clock with 54 seconds to play.
Also, Virginia has all 3 of their timeouts left, so if they do get something going here, they can use the clock to their advantage.
Bullock and Muha split wide to the right. Mikowski calling signals for the Cavaliers. And here he goes. Howard Petty this time, up for a couple. Petty and Word doing a great job of alternating a tailback. You don't really miss anything when one leaves and one returns. Bollinger and Malcolm Hairston on the tackle. And that brings up third down and just about 7 yards with 37 and counting left.
It appears as though George Welsh is satisfied to go in at halftime and just get himself regrouped. He doesn't want to do something crazy here. He's very satisfied with a 21-3 and should be because Wake really hasn't been able to move the ball against him.
So we're looking at what probably will be the last play of the first half. Just up the middle. And it's Antonio Rice, number 47 for Virginia, junior, 261, 208 pounds, and that should be it. As the clock counts down. Now, there seems to be a problem. Somebody called timeout. I don't think anyone realizes that.
Well,
and Wake Forest, I guess, figures they've got at least a chance at a return.
Or a block kick because I can see the coach signaling from the sidelines here, and the Virginia team has to come back onto the field, but they might get a block kick here, and as you know, they can pick the ball up and run for a touchdown, so they might get lucky and get a cheap score.
So Virginia will be kicking. Kevin Ferguson checks in the game, and out goes Don Mikowski. 5 seconds left to play. And again, Wake Forest hoping for a little bit of lightning to strike. McCummings and Holt go back deep for the Deacons. And now Wake Forest brings their coverage up. They are anticipating doing a little something with this punt, as you mentioned, Fran. They want to send everybody, I believe. Good snap. Here they come. He gets it off, and it will simply roll to a stop. At about the 5-yard line as time expires. Virginia takes a 21-3 lead into halftime. And we'll be back with today's halftime action.
Turnover. You can see the third down conversion, 0 for 9. Isn't that unreal? And of course, Virginia's just had possession of the ball, 16-20. So it's pretty much been all Virginia.
So we'll be back with more halftime activities. Right now, Jack Whitaker files a report on some of the great happenings in college football over the past 60 years. Pep Band is underway, and we've had a special guest star pop out of the cake here. We had it billed as Thomas and Jefferson, but Fran, I guess that's the next best thing. Bob Hope.
Boy, isn't that great? Doesn't he look just fantastic?
Bob Hope, of course, is on campus for a performance tonight. Came in early yesterday and decided to help out the Virginia Pep Band on its 10th anniversary.
Of course, he feels very comfortable with a microphone in his hand. You can see him right there. He's about to give us some one-liners. Look at him.
Even at age 81, Bob Hope can certainly still move. So a surprise package at halftime excites a homecoming crowd. They're estimating at around 40,000 today.
Though Mr. Jefferson's not here, you must certainly remember, Mr. Hope, that day so very long ago when old TJ first read his memorable declaration.
Can you imagine me playing Thomas Jefferson? Actually, I think Ronald Reagan should play this part. After all, they were pals. But I'm so happy to be here and just to be working with this Pep Band, which I think they're a bunch of fugitives from the animal house. I was really going to offer my services for the Cavaliers for the second half, but I guess they don't need me. But I did play a lot of football in my youth. I was a center, but I had to quit. I was too ticklish. And our quarterback was so unsanitary. Always using my towel. I hate that, don't you? I just want to tell you, we're going to have a great big show tonight, and I hope you're all there. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your enlightening insights, Mr. Hope.
Bob Hope, making probably the most unusual entrance of his career, inside a cake celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Virginia Pep Band's existence.
We could all be so lucky to be looking that great at 81, right?
Well, if Virginia's fans weren't pumped up before, I think they're up now. Bob Hope heading back to the locker room as we get ready to start the second half. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. By Chevrolet, who invite you to see today's Chevy, drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy. By Napa, make your car Napa brand new today. And by JCPenney. Today there's more style in everything you do. There's more style than ever at JCPenney. You're looking smarter than ever, JCPenney.
And of course, that's all predicated on a winning football team. Somehow there's a relationship between winning football and having fun in the stadium. So they're having a lot of fun today.
So Virginia will exercise their option to receive to start the second half. Doug Illing will be kicking off for Wake Forest. And back deep for the University of Virginia, Quanah Bullock and Antonio Rice as they swap positions. And we're about ready to get things underway in the second half of today's ACC shootout between Virginia and Wake Forest. Hilling hits it pretty deep. Bullock will take it in the end zone, fumbles it out, picked up by Zimmerlich. And Zimmerlich happened to be in the right place at the right time and takes it out to the 13-yard line. And Virginia averts what looked like a disaster of sorts there as Bullock let the ball just, I guess, hit him on the shoulder pads, bounce loose. And backup tight end Gino Zimmerlich comes up with the ball to set up a first down for Virginia. Mikowski back into the game at quarterback. He'll start things off now at the 12-yard line. The Cavaliers, who, as we have mentioned before, have had tremendous success going simply right up the middle, right at the Wake Forest defense. Steve Morse in at fullback, of course, Howard Petty at halfback. Here's a give to Petty. He looks a little bit to the outside, springs free at the 20-25, and finally knocked out by Rory Holt. And the officials will mark it at about the 28-yard line. That, of course, is more than enough for a first down. And Virginia picks right back up where they left off in the first half.
Well, I told you they would just run right at them until they stopped it, and they're going to continue to do that probably for the whole second half. And I know George Welsh, and he's a good, solid coach, and I'm sure he'll stick with his game plan.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers at the 28-yard line. Mikowski back to pass. Looking for a receiver, a little bit of pressure. Oh, what a near catch. And that's John Ford, the man from Florida, the burner, who is a freshman. Ronnie Burgess, number 25 on the coverage for Wake Forest. Ford got there. I'm not sure he was open, but Mikowski delivered the ball well enough to have it almost caught. Let's take another look, Fran.
But again, here it's a fake draw, and he stands back. He's looking for Ford right now all the way. He lays the ball up in the air. Now watch this little gymnastics here and athletic skills. He almost makes the play here. And, of course, if he would have caught that ball, there would have been no catching because of his great speed.
So back to live action with Muha. Split to the wide side along the Ford. Up the middle of Petty. And he hits and stops at about the 30-yard line, drives forth for a couple of inches. Tony Scott, number 53 for Wake Forest on the tackle. So let's take a look at the Wake Forest defensive line. Roger Morrill starting at defensive tackle, splitting time with Bruce Mark. Tony Coates, the nose guard from Virginia. Gary Ballinger, defensive tackle from New York. Number 98, Tony Garbasek, the junior college transfer at linebacker outside. Of course, the other outside linebacker, number 13, Kenny Grantham. So it's Ford and Muha split to each side. Third down at about 8 yards. Mikowski fakes up the middle again, looking downfield. A short one up here to, you know who, Zimmerlich. I'm sorry, I correct myself. That is Brian Hitchcock, who is the starter at tight end. And it looks to be enough for a first down. They'll eyeball it and mark it.
I believe it's going to have to be a fourth down here on this play. They're going to have to bring in.
Here's the Wake Forest inside linebacking core. Hairston from Bassett, Virginia. Of course, Burgess at cornerback. And at the other corner, Rory Holt from Lexington, North Carolina. Strong safety, Donald Johnson, number 48. And free safety, Reggie McCummings, a junior from Winston-Salem. So the Cavaliers will punt. Ferguson back deep. It's a pretty good one. He's been hitting them low, but this one gets up a little bit. Holt takes it at the 25-yard line, up to the 30, the 35, dodges inside a couple of more tacklers, and squirms out to the 40-yard line. Nice return by Rory Holt as Ferguson drops off. 21-3, Virginia taking control of this game. Lester Lyles on the stop for the University of Virginia. And again, it's going to be interesting to see what Wake Forest does. They've had 15, 20 minutes to think things out. After a 38-yard punt, they'll start 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Ford White back in at quarterback. There's a give to Ramseur. He's up to the 44-yard line. Quick hitter that picks up 4. Take a look at the Virginia defense now. The freshman, Sean Scott, at left end from Alexandria, Virginia. Ron Matties at left tackle from Wingtown, PA. David Baum, the nose guard from Grand Rapids. Tom Kilgannon, right tackle from Fanwood, New Jersey. And Scott Hillman at right end from Roanoke, Virginia. Back to Ramseur again, and the going is a little tougher this time around. Call it a pickup of 2. Scott Hillman on the tackle. So Charles McDaniel, the leading tackler on the Virginia team at inside linebacker. Stuart Mines starting at the other linebacker position from Richmond. Ray Daly at cornerback. William Frazier at the other corner. And a strong safety, all ACC, Lester Lyles from Washington, D.C. Bob Sweeney, number 2, the free safety from Hagerstown, Maryland. So it's third down and just about 5 yards for the Deacons. It's a give to Ramseur again 3 times. He's got something going out to the 50, the 45, breaks a tackle to the 40, 45, and finally is run out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Lester Lyles on the tackle. Along with Bob Sweeney, they teamed up, but 3 times to Ramseur, and finally it breaks something, Fran.
Here's the eye play again, and they just run a counter play, and running back, see the 2 linemen pulling out in front. There's a block on number 37, breaks him loose, breaks outside here, breaks the tackle. Now he just heads going, and here comes Lester Lyles, a great defensive back, number 26. Look at that hit. That's why the pros like him.
So 1st and 10 for Wake Forest at the 33-yard line. And again, something up the left side. Loose ball. And the officials are looking this one over. I believe they're going to say it's blown dead back at the original down spot. Ray Daly on the tackle, number 8 for Virginia.
And they gave him the yardage on that. They moved the ball all the way up to a 2nd down and 4. This is the best position, field position, the Wake Forest has had really almost since the first time the opening drive they had off the fumble.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and just about 4 yards from the Virginia 27-yard line. As the Deacons go back to work on offense, Boy White, you can see him 6 for 15 and 58 yards so far today. White gives to Topper Clemens. He cuts around the left side, is held up, holding his ground fairly well. And Bob Sweeney on the tackle, just short, apparently, of a 1st down. We'll take a closer look as the officials mark it at about the 25-yard line. So that leaves it about 2 yards short, and it brings up 3rd down for Wake Forest. 11:40 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Still plenty of time if the Deacons can get something going. We're not trying to sell them short. But again, they've got to do something against Virginia, and so far they're driving fairly well. Their best drive since the opening of today's ball game. In motion goes David Chambers. Boy White gives to Ramseur. He cuts inside, gets just enough of the 1st down, and drives his way down to the 20-yard line. Scott Hillman finally wrestles Michael Ramseur down with a little bit of help from Bob Sweeney, the free safety. And a 1st down for Wake Forest. So I'm not so sure Al Groh didn't say, let's go back to basics. Of course, Michael Ramseur, the leading runner on the team. Hopper Clemens doing quite well also. And they mark it now back to the 21-yard line, where it'll be 1st down. As Boy White tries to narrow the score just a little bit.
Get on top of you, buddy.
1st down call, looks like a pass. A flip out to Ramseur, just a little bit too tall, and he was certainly open.
He was wide open.
I don't imagine Boy White is too happy with himself on that one. Ramseur got open. It was just too tall to catch.
Well, they brought their great receiver, James Bryan, down inside, and everybody went with him. And, of course, when Ramseur went outside, he was wide open. All he had to do was catch the ball and run to the end zone, but it was just overthrown.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Deacons. As you can see, Virginia has been tough on touchdowns the last 5 games. That's every game since the Clemson game, which they lost 55-0. Ramseur up the middle, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Hillman and Bond on the tackle for Virginia. That'll bring up 3rd down. Ramseur picks himself back up and heads back for another try. Clemens goes out, and Dwayne Owens back in for Wake Forest, which usually means they're going to the spread.
Yes, and that usually means that George Welsh will be bringing his linebackers and everybody else and going to man coverage. So let's kind of see if they do that. This is the spread coverage.
Greg Scales from Winston-Salem is out to the left. He is a freshman. Here it comes. Really in between the 2 receivers. Dwayne Owens, the intended receiver, Bob Sweeney on the coverage. Had Owens and Chambers running what, just a deep out?
Danny, the key to that is when you go in motion and you see a defensive back run with somebody when they go in motion, that's the cue immediately that they're in man-to-man coverage. So that's his man responsibility. And so they tip their hand right away, and you know when you see the man-to-man coverage, then the linebacker's going to be in on a blitz, and that's exactly what they did that time.
Interesting situation. 4th down and 10. Wake says, let's go for it. David Chambers now in number 36. He is put wide to the bottom of your screen as the Deacons decide to go gambling. White back to pass. He's looking over. Pretty good job of blocking. Now they flush White out. A little short one on the sideline, and it's not going to be enough. Greg Scales makes the catch, but as you can tell, he stopped well short of the 1st down by the Cavaliers. Scott Hillman again on the tackle.
Well, again, the surprise is always a thing you like to throw at somebody. And that time, George Welsh faked the blitz, dropped everybody off, and had a zone defense, and there was no place to throw but to underneath people. He makes a 6 or 7 yard gain, and that's not enough for the 1st and 10. So, again, it's a chess match going on out there. and George Welsh seems to be having the best end of it.
So a strong play by Lagerman and Hillman. Another score for your Army over Pennsylvania, 48-13. Not surprising, but the margin of victory might be to some people. Princeton comes up short against Navy. The academies are playing well this year. .04 left to play as there is a short discussion and a timeout. Virginia gets their troops together. And how important is this, Fran, for the Wake Forest defense? Have you got to keep Virginia bottled up and give the offense a chance real quick at the ball?
You have to be able to run the ball right at them, and they've got to be able to stop them here. So
21-3 our score. Let's take this timeout to take a look at the beautiful, beautiful campus of Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Wake Forest University has the best of two worlds, the qualities of both the large university and the small liberal arts college. Wake Forest is located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The university and the city complement one another in terms of culture and beauty. The university emphasizes individual attention and accomplishment. The atmosphere is informal and competitive in the undergraduate, graduate, and professional schools, and the quality of education is excellent. Thus, the student is well prepared.
Back again at Scott Stadium. The Cavaliers ran a quick play, 2-yard gainer by Don Mikowski, Tony Gabarzik on the stop. And it'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 for the Cavaliers of Virginia. Ford and Newhaw split to the outside. Mikowski goes to Petty up the middle. He cuts it a little bit to the outside, looking for daylight, and gets just enough to get up to about the 26-yard line. Tony Gabarzik on the tackle for Wake Forest. But again, Petty having a pretty good afternoon. 13 carries, 77 yards, and a touchdown. And there is a timeout on the field while Donald Johnson stretches himself out after that tackle.
Well, they're going back to what they want to do, and that's run right at Wake Forest. And the blocking up front is getting a hold of it. There it is, a 3rd down, and a very short situation would be something that Virginia should be able to do.
So while we have a timeout on the field, let's take timeout also to take a look at the Charlottesville, Virginia campus of the University of Virginia Cavaliers.
Thomas Jefferson once said, "The objects of all science are the freedom and happiness of man." At the University of Virginia, which he founded, scientists and engineers are pursuing new knowledge with the same goals Jefferson championed. From pioneering studies on the environmental impact of acid rain to the development of microscopic electronic components used by radio astronomers worldwide, research at UVA benefits all of us.
Well, back again. We've had another quick play. Steve Morse carried for a couple of flag thrown on the play, and it appears to be against Wake Forest. So with the ball spotted 3rd down and 1, I'm sure this will convert to a 1st down for the University of Virginia after they talk things over. Donald Johnson, as we mentioned, was hurt, is out of the game. Not seriously, we hope.
Offside
David Whitley
on the defense. 1st down.
So Whitley comes in for Johnson. 1st down for the Cavaliers at the 31-yard line. Just outside the 30, actually. And again, Yuhan Ford split left and right for the Cavaliers. Pick up the middle. Mikowski's going long for Ford. He's got him. Out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Ronnie Burgess trying to keep up with John Ford, who caught a 74-yard touchdown play last week against Georgia Tech.
You can see right here. Now watch him step back in the pocket here after a little bit of a fake draw. And it's a 1-on-1 out there with Ford, the defensive back. And watch him put the ball on the money. He throws it outside. It's a great play here. And, of course, that puts him right about on his average of a 28-yard completion. He's been averaging 31.7 yards per catch.
So 1st and 10 for Virginia. Buha comes in motion to the bottom of your screen. Take the handoff. The second part of the option looks like the one that Mikowski will take. He picks up very short yardage. Gabarzik on the tackle for Wake Forest, and it now is about 2nd down and about 9 yards. Here's an update now from Jim Lampley in New York. Howard Petty, he breaks another one down to the 26-yard line. Reggie McCummings, number 28 on the tackle for Wake Forest, and Petty rambles on.
Well, you'll see Petty here. Watch him accelerate after he sees that daylight. But look at the blocking up front. There's that double team on the nose guard. And then 79 comes off of him and makes the block on the linebacker. And it's just a matter of running hard and fast. And he's really a great back, and he just makes as much as he can out of the play.
So the Cavaliers continue to move the ball with 7:50 left to play in the third quarter. Morris and Petty in the backfield still. Ford and Uha split out wide. Uha comes in motion at the top of the screen. There's a handoff to Morris, and not too much there. Wake Forest stops him after about a yard gain. Tony Coates, the man down under, number 77 for the Deacons.
Well, you get the feeling, you know, you got to give that fullback the ball every now and then to make him feel like he's part of he really actually is a running back, because in their offense, he's basically a blocker, and he's been doing a fantastic job of blocking for the backs. But when he runs the ball, it's a straight shot. He has nobody blocking for him.
So it's Barry Word back at tailback. Uha and Ford on the same side to the top of your screen. Mikowski gives to Word, and they smoke that one out just a little bit. Good penetration by David Whitley, who has just come into the game. As they threw a little bit of a stunt there, I believe, Fran.
Yes, they had to come at him. They've got to try to stop something right here, because another touchdown really plays in the hands of Virginia because they're using the clock so effectively.
So Whitley goes out after making that great play, and back in goes Donald Johnson, who we're happy to report was not shaken up too much in that play just a couple of minutes ago. Mikowski back to pass, 3rd and 9, looking down the middle. Uha has it and drops it in his hands, and it came loose. And now the Wake Forest players are trying to talk the officials into saying that was a completion.
I believe they have talked him into it. You can see right
Yes,
here.
indeed.
It looks like he did have possession of the ball, and they did talk him into it. So watch right here. He throws the ball over to Muhall. There you see he has the ball. No, he never really had the ball. He actually was trying to put it away. But that's one of those things that were easy to see on slow-mo, and it's hard to see when it's actually happening.
So it's Rory Hope with the recovery for Wake Forest, and we'll be back with more ACC football action following. Greg Scales comes wide at the bottom of your screen. He is a freshman. In motion comes Chambers towards us. White gives to Ramseur. He's looking for some ground. He's got a little bit and keeps on running up to the 38-yard line, a pickup of about 5 yards. And Ramseur continues to kind of build up the yardage here in the second half.
Well, he started to turn it loose, but again, they started that motion. You saw the secondary man move with him, and that means they're going to run some kind of a counteraction, or the Virginia people had on a blitzing-type defense.
So Michael Ramseur, 13 carries, 66 yards. He's the number 3 leading carrier in the ACC right now, had led that statistical category for several weeks. Not much there. Topper Clemens shut down. Now, we were bragging that Topper had never been dropped for a loss this season. I think his streak just ended as Bond and Matthews, the nose guard and the left tackle for Virginia, get in there, and well, they're going to give him the line of scrimmage, so I guess it's still alive. Call it 3rd down and just a little bit behind.
Well, they've been having some real problems with their 3rd down conversion, so they're only 2 of 12.
So Scales and Chambers split out for the Deeks, who have not, as Fran said, been very successful on 3rd down so far today. Boy, White goes back to pass. Again, fairly good pressure. He's got plenty of time now. Oh, here it comes. And down goes Foy White. He managed to escape it for half a second, then just everything collapsed at once, Fran.
Well, they had a 4-man rush, and they faked the blitz again, and they went back into a zone coverage, which again confused Foy White. He really was thinking that they were going to come in. What a great play by Tom Kilgannon there. Outstanding play. He came in from behind and confused Foy White, and he didn't throw the ball.
So after Sean Scott and Kilgannon get the sack, Harry Newsom into punt. Not a very good one. He hits it off the side of his foot. Ray Daly kind of watches this one bounce. He'll take it at the 27-yard line and head straight for the sidelines. So with the score, 21-3, Virginia over Wake Forest. We'll take time out for this message.
This is Mr. Goodrich, and did you know there are ways you can tell if your GM car's shock absorbers are okay? For one, check your tires. If they show unusual wear, like cupping at one spot, it can mean worn shocks. Make your car hard to handle. So see Mr. Goodrich. I have the right equipment, training, and genuine GM Blue Line replacement shocks available. They have a lifetime limited warranty.
It's another of Mr. Goodrich's good ways.
To keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Credit to Harry Newsom on that punt. Took a bounce of about 13 extra yards. As the Cavaliers and quarterback Mikowski take over, Antonio Rice in at fullback now. Mikowski going to the air, looking downfield, looking again. A little bit of pressure goes to the right side. Mikowski can run, but decides to throw it long. Zimmerling cannot come up with it. Good coverage by Reggie McCummings on that play, the free safety for Wake. And Gino Zimmerling got downfield, but the Wake defense had that fairly well covered.
Yes, but Mikowski here, I think, may have learned something. Now, watch him go back here in the pocket here. He looks around. There's nothing there. He's nothing there. Instead of throwing the ball as he normally would, he wanted to, he starts scrambling. This is when he becomes a very dangerous football player because he's a talented athlete that can run. Then he sees the tight end break open deep, and, of course, that was a great play by McCummings.
So it's second down, 10 yards from the Cavaliers to give the word up the middle, and again there's a hole, but it closes quickly as Tony Gabarczyk, number 98 for Wake Forest, on the stop. 4-yard pickup for Word. And the Deacons playing a little bit tougher up the middle, but Virginia continues to get some great blocking up front, Fran.
Well, Virginia's also throwing the ball on 1st and 10 for a few times. Looky here, the quarterbacks. Look at the difference in comparisons.
Mikowski has avoided the interceptions he had problems with last week against Georgia Tech. So far, so good. Antonio Rice, Word in the backfield for the Cavaliers. Mikowski tries to step inside, not much there, and that'll bring up a 4th down for the Cavaliers as Tony Scott on the tackle for Wake Forest. So Wake will get the ball back with about 3 minutes and 24 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Kevin Ferguson in to punt. And back again for the Deacons will be McCummings and Rory Holt. Ferguson averaging 45.6 per kick. Had a 72-yarder earlier this season. Low snap, he picks it off the carpet. And another low liner that just keeps floating and floating. McCummings has got it to 19. Steps inside some coverage and down to the 29-yard line. 10-yard pickup on the punt return. So with the score remaining, Virginia 21, Wake Forest 3. We'll be back with more exciting CFA ACC football following this message.
There's a time in life for the young to say, I want something else, a different way. The town's the same, the people too. School is over, need something to do. The services have it, it'll really show. You'll see new places, you'll really grow in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Challenge, adventure, excitement too, a time to enjoy and see something new. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You'll work hard, feel really free, serving your country for all to see in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. Be part of a team, be friends forever. A part of the services you won't forget ever. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. It's a great place to start.
With about 2:52 remaining, and the Deacons get a 1st down now at the 29-yard line. A chance to narrow the score a bit. Owens and goes wide to the bottom, of course, the usual backfield of Ramseur and Clemens. Take the handoff upstairs for Foy White. It's complete to Scales down at the 48-yard line. Drake Scales, a freshman who has seen probably more playing time today than he has all year. As Foy White completes the pass, McDaniel and Lester Lyles on the tackle for the Cavaliers, but it's a 1st down for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Look at that score. Nebraska now has gone ahead of Colorado. They trailed for almost all the game. 10-7 in the 4th quarter, and the shocker of the day, Houston over SMU. I don't know how long it's been since SMU lost to somebody besides Texas. Back to live action. Ramseur up across midfield, down to the 47-yard line. Michael Ramseur continues to edge closer to 100 yards rushing today as Scott Logeman makes the tackle.
Well, Dan, you know, we're into the conference races now, and everything, here's a score right here, is non-conference, but we're into the conference races, and every game played now is so important, and especially when you're getting close to that bowl time.
Well, Texas slipped by Arkansas just barely, 24-18. Right now, we've got a 2nd down and 5 for the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. Foy White gives off to Topper Clemens. He's got a break. Down to the 33-yard line. Topper Clemens stopped by Lester Lyles, a strong safety. And Wake Forest is suddenly moving people around.
Well, you'll see right here, it's taking a page out of the book of Virginia right here, running right at people, and of course he used his good eyes. Topper Clemens is an outstanding runner, and you see right there, he keeps his balance, and of course he almost broke it for the big one, but you'll see George have to kind of tighten down here because they're starting to make their move.
So, Topper Clemens still in the backfield, 1st down at the 33-yard line for Wake Forest. In motion to the bottom of the screen comes David Chambers. Foy White back to pass. Flips a little one out to Michael Ramseur. He takes it in full stride, cuts back to the 27-yard line. And the Deacs continue to move the ball as he inches it up even closer. It'll be marked down at the 26-yard line for Wake Forest, which leaves them about 3 yards short of a 1st down as Ramseur continues to operate. William Fraser and Sean Scott on the stop.
Well, this is the danger area. When you get inside that 30-yard line, somewhere around that 26-yard line, you play a lot different defense, and Virginia will start bringing those linebackers up a lot closer. There's George Welsh, and he's a defensive genius.
Owens and Scales on the left side, split out. 2nd down and 3 for Wake Forest. Here he comes again. Michael Ramseur has a little bit of a hole, and he's going to be down to about the 28-yard line. Robert Sherrod on the tackle.
Well, Dan, this is what we call our 4-down zone. So here it's 3rd down and a little more than a 1. And they've got 2 downs to do it, and I'll guarantee you they'll use both downs. Look at one of our other ABC games here. Boston College 20, West Virginia 9 in the 3rd quarter. Wonder how Flutie's doing.
If he can beat him, that'll be the first time he's done it in his career. BYU a narrow lead over Air Force, 21-19. Back to live action, yard to go. And a whistle on the play as the Deacons took the clock all the way down to the end.
Looked like the left side of the line, Kaiser and Morrison moved.
So it's a 5-yard penalty for illegal motion.
I wonder how the folks like to see those officials in shorts out there. I think this is the only conference in the country that the officials wear short pants. Not a bad idea in the warm weather.
It's been warm enough for them today. Again,
Dead ball foul, illegal procedure on the offense. 3rd down. Wind it.
So that changes things a little bit for Wake Forest. Instead of knocking it across a yard, they'll have to go 6. Boy White brings the lineup up. The splits to the left. Clemens and Ramseur in the backfield. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter. So the Deacons will get to score down at the other end of the field if they do so. And you've traveled any distance to come home for homecoming. 21-3, we start the 4th quarter. Wake Forest, 3rd down and 7 yards to go. As the Deacons try to get something on the board quick. Boy White back to pass. Here comes some action from the outside. He gets it off, and that's about all as he throws it way out of bounds under heavy pressure. Ron Mattis comes from the left side to nearly track down Boy White.
Again, once you get inside that 30, they're going to come at you, and of course this makes it a 4th down and 6 situation, and they're going to have to go for it. There's a 3rd quarter stat. Interestingly enough, Virginia leads in turnovers 2-0, and that's very unusual to be dominating a game this much and still be putting yourself in that kind of a tough position.
Time of possession is pretty close too, which is surprising considering the score. Wake has not picked up any big chunks, except of course for the James Brim reception early in the game. That went 41 yards, but the Deacons have closed the gap somewhat in the rushing department. Injured player on the field for Wake Forest. That's the center, Mike Nessel, 6'4", 261-pound senior, who of course has really started since his freshman year. Mike jokes about his freshman game down at Clemson in Death Valley. He was worked over, but he said it has done a lot for his career, and he certainly survived to become one of the premier offensive linemen in the ACC. Hopefully that's not serious.
Dan, I'll tell you, we really had a great time here. It's been such a beautiful weather, and Ellie Rager, our producer, and I, we went over to see the beautiful home of Jefferson, and it was just outstanding. It's just something everybody should do if they get down this way.
Next week we've got something cooking here. Exciting CFA college action as Nessel hustles off the field. SMU in Texas, and of course Notre Dame against number 9 LSU. So the Deacons come up 4th down. They need something big right here. In motion comes Dwayne Owens. And it's back to Boy White. Here comes the pressure. Quick flip. They've got a completion. For the 1st down, that's Wes Stopper, a fellow we haven't seen too much of today. He's the 2nd string split in for the Deeks. William Frazier on the coverage. He knocked him out of bounds, number 36 for Virginia. So Wes Stopper picks up a big 1st down for the Deeks just inside the 20-yard line.
As you can see, the pressure still coming at them. Boy, they were coming after them with everything they had. And their percentages have been awfully good today, so you have to give up one every now and then. There's the man coverage.
So Stopper goes off. Greg Scales, the freshman, comes in. Boy White tries it again over the middle. It's picked off. William Frazier has it and hops out of bounds to the 22-yard line. Well, I guess that's a choice, a situation where you're trying to do a little bit too much in a little bit too big of a hurry. David Chambers went down to try to make the catch,
Well, you can see from right here now, the pressure is coming. They're stunning all over the place, coming with their cornerback, and just a beautiful play. He timed it perfectly. And William Frazier has the interception, and of course that stops him again.
Great play by Frazier. And Mikowski comes back in at quarterback, so the Cavaliers stop the Deacons with the interception. First down at the 19-yard line. Mikowski pitches back to Word. Word looking around the outside. He's to the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Steve Lambert, number 81 for Wake Forest, on the tackle.
Well, they just got a flag on the field. Number 25 just took a shot at John Ford. And we haven't heard from John Ford, but his presence out there certainly is something. So there's an unnecessary roughness. 15 yards more added on to that play.
Tough time to do that.
Sure. But I'll tell you, at this point now in the game, knowing George Welsh as I think I do, you're going to see him keep that ball on the ground. He's going to use the clock. He's going to use the field. He's got himself out of the hole that he was into here, so he's going to pretty much go right back to what he can do best, and that's going to be run right at Wake Forest and force them to stop him.
So the Cavaliers will get the ball at the 41-yard line instead of the 26.
Foul. Personal foul on the defense. First down. And there's out.
And Mikowski and company start their march again. Antonio Rice in it. Fullback, of course, Howard Petty in it. Running back, tailback in the Virginia I. The give again to Word. Goes in back in for Petty. And Word picks up 8 yards. They're moving people around in there. Roger Morrill in the tackle for Wake Forest, along with Kenny Grantham.
Now, this is a great shot here from the ground level, and you'll see the back coming right at you here. Watch the blocking come right at you, and here he goes, gets it back to him as deep as you can in the eye, and then, of course, he just uses that great running ability and just makes about 8 yards, that's all.
So 2nd and 2 for Virginia. And a give up the middle to Antonio Rice. Rice seems to specialize in picking up short first downs. He's done well so far for Virginia, and I believe he has another one. Gary Bollinger on the tackle, 67 for Wake Forest, and the officials will take a look at this one. How are you on speculation?
I say he made it. I'm going to give him the edge that he made it.
We'll make it 2-0 then on the vote.
You know, while we have a second here, we promoted the New York Marathon, and I would just like to say that my sister's going to run it. 47 years old and 7 children. She's going to run the New York Marathon. I think oh, no, I didn't make it. My eyes are weakened, so
that's what we get.
Better eyes than I have. But I think it's kind of neat, though, that somebody can even put their body through that kind of pain.
Now, speaking of the marathon, of course, over 18,000 runners compete in America's largest marathon field, led by defending champions Ron Dixon and Greta Weiss. New York City Marathon. ABC Sports will present live exclusive coverage from start to finish next Sunday, October the 28th, beginning at 10:30, 9:30 Central. So Virginia comes up short. Mikowski does it himself, and he gets more than enough for the first down. Across midfield and to about the 47-yard line of Wake Forest.
There's a great crowd there. You're having a big time today on Parents' Day and homecoming. Boy, you can't have better than that. But you can see the strength of the Virginia line. When they needed it the most, they went right at the heart of it. And, of course, using the great athlete, the quarterback.
So Ford and Willie Snead will split out wide to the left side. Quick pitch, but a whistle stops action. And I believe the Cavaliers took a little bit too long to get that thing started.
Boy, I'll bet you if you saw George Welsh right now, he'd be upset because this is exactly what he doesn't want to do.
Procedure call. I stand corrected again. So Mikowski will have a 1st and 15. You know, we haven't had a chance to talk about it, but I was noticing that earlier in one of the plays. Wake Forest is an unusual team, the fact that they're wearing the Anderson knee braces.
Yes, they sure are. That's unusual.
False start on the offense.
If we can get a chance, you see right there the bulging of the leg. These boys all wear them. The backs and everybody on their football team wears a knee brace, and they have not had a knee injury since they've been using it.
That includes running backs and everybody, right? So Virginia comes up. Mikowski takes it down across midfield, looks to pitch and changes his mind, and will struggle his way to the 43-yard line. Gary Bollinger on the tackle. He wrapped him up at the 43. And that was an unusual-looking option play.
But watch the talent here, though, of Mikowski here. And you can see here the fake are coming on the option play, and this adds the extra dimension to their offense. He sees the little cracker. He turns inside, and watch he fake outside and fakes number 5 out of position. Then he uses his strength right here. You know, he is a strong guy. If the guy can high jump, he fumbled the ball there and got it back. But, of course, this puts him back on rhythm again, 2nd and 6.
So Ford and Snead split white. Gino Zimmerlink back in at tight end. Mikowski back to throw over the middle. Zimmerlink has got it at about the 36-yard line. And that should again be enough for a first down for Virginia. as Reggie McCumming, number 28, makes the tackle for Wake Forest.
Well, that's why they call Mikowski magic, because right here, watch him take a shot. He knows it's coming. He flips the ball, and look at him take that shot. Great job.
Knew just where to go.
Well, now Georgia go back to the running game here and just keep it. Now, watch the hit here. Watch the shot he takes after the pass. The pass goes wacko.
Well, Mikowski's up and breathing again. First down and 10. Ward cuts inside. He's got something to about the 7-yard line. Rory Holt rides him down there.
Well, you can just bet that they're going to stay on the ground now until they have to go to that passing game. With 11 minutes and 45 seconds to go, they've got control of this game. They're not going to lose it. Now watch here again. Watch the great eyes of the back. Cuts back right here. See that? That's what you got to do if you're an eye back. And he's just a class athlete. He and Petty really are a good tandem.
So second and a long one for Virginia as they march on at Scott Stadium before a very large homecoming crowd. Barry Word takes it wide, looking to get around the corner, and he gets to about the 21-yard line. And another first down for Virginia. Rodney Mason on the tackle along with Ronnie Burgess for Wake Forest. And Word continues to pile up the numbers, too.
But Dan, I'll tell you what else he did there was very interesting. He started at the sidelines. He realized he wasn't going to make that much more yards. He cut back and stayed in bounds because he wanted to keep that clock running. They're well coached.
Word up to 119 yards now. Of course, 2 first-half touchdowns.
There's
George
Welsh.
Welsh certainly has to be enjoying this part of the game.
It's hard to make him look happy, though.
So Mikowski starts off another first down series. To give to Howard Petty up the middle. He's still running and down to the 4-yard line. And Ronnie Burgess makes the tackle.
Well, again, you can see from ground level here that they're going to run right at Wake. And here again, Petty's been sitting on the bench getting a little rest. And he says, hey, it's my turn to run. Let me carry that ball. I'm going to show you what I can do, Coach. He's a little worried about Word getting so much yardage. He's got 113 yards, and Word's got 114 yards. That's pretty balanced, wouldn't you think?
So the Cavaliers have done it again, put 2 running backs over the 100-yard mark, and that's the same position, too. The tailback position has done well today. Injured player on the field with about 10:52 left to play as darkness begins to ease in on Charlottesville, Virginia. We'll be back with more ACC action between Virginia and Wake Forest following these commercial messages. Can just about put this one out of reach if they can score again. Of course, all 21 of their points came in the first half.
Well, Dan, we'll kind of guess here now. We'll have a little fun here, and we'll guess, see what they're going to run here. Let's look at this.
Well, the NFL season reaches its halfway point, Fran, as the New Orleans Saints and newly acquired Earl Campbell face Tom Landry's Dallas Cowboys in a special Sunday night edition of ABC's Monday Night Football following the presidential debate coverage live at 9:40 Eastern Time. And, of course, on Monday night, NFC West rivals square off as the Atlanta Falcons host the LA Rams on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football live at 9 o'clock Eastern. And aren't you glad for Wake Forest Earl Campbell doesn't wear the Cavalier colors, because they are really piling the yardage up.
Well, I would say they're going to run right at him. This is what they've done when they've been down here before, so let's look at it.
First and goal at the 5 for Virginia. In motion goes Muha to the top of the screen to give up the middle. Not too much going for Steve Morris as he struggles his way to about the 4-yard line.
Well, they're bringing in Antonio Rice now, so they're going to block it. Hear it again. They're going to try to help Morris make a touchdown here. But again, he's just a straight-ahead runner. He's basically a blocker. He has no other help except for what he can do. And I think that's a hard, tough yard he made here. But Antonio Rice came in for his position. I would say they'll line up an eye, and I'll say they'll give that ball deep to Petty and just let him run right at it.
Okay. In motion again, Muha changes his mind, heads back where he came from. It's Howard Petty diving in for a touchdown. Howard Petty. So the tailback position has been very, very kind to the Virginia Cavaliers today. Petty's 3rd score.
Well, it certainly isn't by luck, because these are 2 talented athletes. And here again, the block by Antonio Rice right here. He makes the block, and of course Petty breaks back. He sees the goal line. He hurdles. He does whatever he has to do, as good backs do, and makes the touchdown.
So standing on to end the conversion. It's good.
But that's the way Virginia wants to do it. They want to have 12 plays. They want 81 yards, so that's what they're trying to do.
So with the score, Virginia 28.
Here's that replay again. Now let's watch again how deep the quarterback gives the ball to him so he can now break back inside. Look at the block up there. Maintains his contact, and of course he just jumps over, hurdles, goes to the goal line, whatever he has to do.
So again, the Cavaliers have built up a 28-3 working margin over Wake Forest. We'll be back with more ACC action.
Difficult thing to stop. Wake Forest here now has to really try to get themselves onto the board with 9 minutes to go. It's going to be difficult to catch up and make 3 touchdowns. They're going to have to make in a hurry.
So Kenny Staden will kick to Ira McKellar this time around. Darryl McGill has been receiving kickoffs. McKellar fumbles it at the goal line, kicks it around. It's anybody's ball. McKellar gets there just in time and keeps in the end zone, so it'll be a touchdown, and a touchback, I should say. And the Deacons will take over the 20-yard line. And McKellar, I have a feeling we'll hear about that one later on this week.
It looked like the ball almost rolled on the line. It looked to me like the ball almost rolled across the goal line and came back again. And if it did, that would be a safety if the ball did that.
Take a look and see.
The momentum of the ball did not, that is the rule, the momentum of the ball, the player did not keep it in. But watch here, watch this ball roll now. If this ball rolls back and he kicks it, no, it never did. But his feet are outside. I don't know. That's
where it comes down.
Oh,
well, it lands inside the end zone, doesn't it?
Okay. Well, I think
back to live action. The spread formation for Wake Forest. The shovel pass up the middle to Dwayne Owens. He carries to about the 29-yard line, so that's a new wrinkle. Al Groh had talked about doing something different. Well, I think now is the time to try something like that, Grant.
But I don't think you'll see Virginia blitz as much when they're in this here spread formation as much as they had before. They're going to make Wake Forest go the slow, hard way.
So a quick play. Second down and about a foot for the Deacons, who prefer not to huddle and go right to action. Another spread formation. Ford White looking downfield. He's got plenty of time. Thinks about running. Now he will. And he's heading straight for the sidelines. And he dashes out at the 34-yard line. Of course, that's enough for the first down.
Well, he had 2 receivers wide open, and there really was no pressure put on because they were all playing back in zone defense. Watch these 2 receivers going downfield here. And, of course, they're all playing in their zones where they're supposed to be. And, of course, he's scrambling around back there. Now, looky here. Look, both of them are open, especially number 32. He's really open, but, of course, the quarterback ran to the sideline.
Now the Deacs have got the first down at the 39-yard line, and Boy White goes back to the air across the middle to Dwayne Owens, and he will travel down to the 43-yard line.
Both on the same team, you know. Howard Petty has carried 17 times for 116, and Barry Ward 15 for 118.
Both delay on the offense. Second down.
So that brings up a second down and 6. Talk about evenly matched. I guess there'll be no arguments over playing time after today. Petty and Word sharing time. 81 yards in 12 plays, 443. Petty gets the 3-yard touchdown run. Stauffer and Scales now in the game. They split wide as the Deacs go back to action. Boy White back, throws a little checkout pass to Michael Ramseur. He's up to the 35, the 40, cuts inside to the 45, and is knocked forward to about the 49-yard line. Another first down for Wake Forest. Rayotis Perkins on the tackle, number 68 for Virginia, a sophomore.
Of course, that's all Ramseur here, and as you'll see here, it's his spread offense, as he calls it, and he goes back in the pocket. He looks out to his checkout receiver over here, Ramseur. He throws it to him. Now, watch this great running here. He's really, number 31's got him in his grips. He just runs away from him, cuts back to his right, and, of course, he starts using his ability, and there he goes.
Well, back to live action. Down to Dwayne Owens. And it is a catch at the 40. Well, there is a penalty flag down, I believe. And the officials talk it over way back at the 30-yard line. An official threw a flag. And it is, of course, as you can see, against Virginia. As there still seems to be...
Well, somebody thinks there might be too many men on the field, but if there were, he sure snuck off the field in a hurry. There's only 11 out there now. There's 12 men on the field for Virginia, and he must have slipped out of that artificial turf as fast as he could.
So, Mike Nassau.
You know, there's always in this position right now, there's always that question as the wave goes around the stadium here. They're getting the wave here in Cavalier land. But there's always that question in this situation. Do you line up and you play in what we call a prevent defense, which means you're not rushing that much. You're playing everybody in the zone defense. Or do you play what you've been playing all game and go after them in the spread set and give them a lot of problems? Of course, you take the chance that they get the touchdown. Here we go. Here's the wave. See the wave right there? That's going around the country. I think that's really neat.
So the Cavaliers get flagged for an illegal substitution, and it will be 1st and 5 for Wake Forest. 8:04 left to play in the fourth quarter. Today's ACC shootout between the Cavaliers and the Deacons. David Chambers entered the game. Here comes Virginia. There goes White with a pass downfield. Great catch. Nice catch by Chambers. He's rolled out of bounds by William Frazier.
And of course, as we were talking right before that snap, we were just saying Virginia has gone back to their rhythm, and that is blitzing, and they feel comfortable with it. Of course, you can't change just because they completed a pass, but I feel that he feels very comfortable when they line up on the spread to come after him with a blitz. Here goes the wave again.
First down at the 34 for the Deacons. Trying to put something on the board quickly. Boy, White looking downfield again. Incomplete, and boy. His receiver, Dwayne Owens, was hammered by Lester Lyles and company. White picking up 152 yards through the air. 50% completion, Dave, but he just hasn't been able to hit that crucial pass here in the second half.
Well, he should start the game off with a dynamic by throwing that long pass to James Brim. Oh, they're having so much fun here.
Nothing like winning on homecoming. So the Deacons spread it out. Second down and 10. Owens in motion to the bottom of your screen. White throws to Owens in the flat. He's got it at the 29. Jukes a couple of men down to about the 15. He's still going, and finally out of bounds. William Frazier on the shove at the 14-yard line. And Wake Forest is again, I think, somewhat like you were saying, they're playing a little bit of prevent, and Wake Forest is getting the short stuff all of a sudden.
Here, he just looks and see who's the most easy person to throw to, so he throws in the flat wide open. There's Owens, but I just saw George Welsh. He put his hands on his hip. He went over to his defensive coach and said, "Okay, boys, let's get this thing back in order. They're going to be coming this time. I'll pretty much assure you that."
First and 10 at the 14-yard line for Wake Forest. 7:41 left to play. The Deeks making serious motions of doing something. Ramseur's got the ball. He's to the 10. Down to the 5-yard line. Michael Ramseur continues to cut through the Virginia front line. Lester Lyles on the tackle. The All-ACC strong safety from Virginia, who is having another good year. So the Deeks are making something happen at the 5-yard line. Second down, I should say, and 1. They can get a first down and still not make a touchdown. As Owens goes wide to the right. Now Groh watches and hopes. Copper Clemens breaks it into the end zone. It's a touchdown. Copper Clemens from the fullback position narrows the score to 28-9. Does not consider themselves out of it just yet.
You know, Al Groh, we talked to him yesterday about this, and I think it's fantastic he made the transition from a passing team to a running team, and I think that's a pretty gutsy move when he's been recruiting those kind of guys.
Well, apparently the Deacons have decided to go for 2. Clemens started out of the game, came back in. Here comes Foy White. And Wake Forest, instead of taking the safe 10, will go for 11 here. They trail again 28-9. It's Clemens and Michael Ramseur in the backfield. In motion and back the other way, David Chambers. Here comes the pressure on the backside. The throw just outside of David Chambers' reach.
Let's look at that touchdown again and just see the effort the Ramseur makes here now. Topper makes, I'm saying. And he just runs through arms. He sees the goal line, as all good backs do, and boy, he got across there for the touchdown. Topper Clemens.
So Wake Forest does not come up with a conversion. But they do get a touchdown from Topper Clemens. His 3rd touchdown this season. And with a score, 28-9, Virginia over Wake Forest. We'll be back with more.
You've got to try everything, and time is running out. I'd say that's a very strong possibility and probably will happen.
Again, 28-9 the score, 7:07 left to play. As the Deeks go into their offside formation, a little squib kick. It gets to 10 yards, I know that. And there is a gigantic pileup. The officials say nope. Virginia has maintained possession of the ball, and the Cavaliers will get it at the 49-yard line.
That's good football. You got to do that kind of stuff. You got to try to win. That's what you're out here for. And, of course, the onside kick's the proper play.
Center Harold Garrett came up with a recovery. And so Virginia, I assume we can all be expecting to keep it on the ground. Bukowski gives to Howard Petty, and he picks up still more yardage. Ken Grantham, the outside linebacker for Wake Forest, on the stop, as Petty continues to pile up his stats. Take a look at the scoring drive. You can see 80 yards, 9 plays, 2 minutes, 47 seconds. Topper Clemens takes it in on a 5-yard touchdown run. And, of course, the 2-point conversion pass just a little bit long for David Chambers. And that's where we stand, 28-9, as Don Mikowski operates at quarterback. John Ford and John Muhan are split wide to the right. Mikowski takes it up to about the 44-yard line. Pick up of another 3 yards. And it'll be 3rd down and 4 as Gary Bollinger on the tackle for Wake Forest. Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be party time tonight in Charlottesville.
Yes, and they have a flag here.
They are having fun today at the field. Penalty against Virginia as the officials discuss things.
This is the time of ball game a coach hates to see when your team is ahead. You look like you got things under control, and then you start doing sloppy things that are unnecessary, and it just takes away from what you're trying to get done, and that's to keep the clock running.
Dead ball foul, personal foul on the offense, 3rd down.
So that changes things.
Look at George. Look at him. He is upset. I don't blame you, George. That would make you mad too, buddy.
A long 3rd down play. Call it 3rd and about 17 yards for Virginia at their own 41-yard line. Pitch back to Barry Word, looking for a hole. He's got one. And it closes rather quickly at the 45-yard line. Steve Lambert on the tackle for Wake Forest. David Whitley helping out as the Cavaliers grind the clock down.
We can see right here Virginia's determined to keep that clock running, and they're going to go ahead and run the sweep, hoping that Word can make something big, but more importantly, he wants to keep that clock running. They're going to use every second on this clock before the snap.
So Virginia will, of course, punt. Ferguson in, the backup quarterback, Kevin Ferguson punting to Rory Holt. And the Cummings, who are deep for Wake Forest. High snap, but he controls it and kicks another nice one. Well, Cummings goes back. Bobbles it at about the 3-yard line. Breaks one tackle, but that's going to be about it. Gets to the 5 and is driven back to the 4-yard line, and Ferguson does his job. 28-9. Virginia leads Wake Forest. Will continue with ACC. They have played hard, just not as successfully as they would like to. Up the middle for about a yard. That's Topper Clemens.
You know, in all fairness to that punt returner there, the Cummings, when that ball goes that far over your head, you get disoriented where you are in the field, and you like to have him stand on a 10-yard line, but it was such a great punt. It was a 53-yard punt.
Fake to Ramstor. Out of his own end zone. White passes to Ramstor again, and he gets it to the 15-yard line. As Stuart Mines makes the tackle for Virginia. And they move the chains once again. 1st down for the Deacons, who successfully converted.
Watch him stand tall and throw the ball here. He's looking downfield. You got to be careful not to concentrate on the same receiver, because the defense will break on the quarterback's eyes.
So 1st down for the Deacons. White again goes to the air. To the right side to completion out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. And Dwayne Owens runs a nice route and gets the completion. Kevin Gould on the tackle for Virginia.
Let's watch Dwayne Owens here, number 32, go out here. And watch him run a beautiful out route here. And he catches the ball. He's aware of where the sideline is. And he knows it. He's got to stop the clock. He makes a fake, and he just dives to get outside to stop the clock. That makes White 18 for 32, 1 interception, 195 yards.
So 1st down for the Deacons again. White goes back to the air. Downfield, picked off by Daly. Ray Daly returns it. He's still on his feet. And finally down at the 27-yard line, 28-yard line now. And Wake Forest threw into some pretty tight coverage there, it looked like, Grant.
What would Dandy Don do on Monday night? He'd start singing here, wouldn't he? Turn out the lights.
So
The further you have to throw the ball downfield against a zone defense, the more problems you get into. And White's standing back here trying to get the big play. He has to go for deep. Now watch the interception. He breaks right in front. Beautifully played by Ray Daly, number 8. And, of course, he uses the great skills that he has and picks up blockers here. You can see a block right here. Watch number 93 get picked off.
Nice 27-yard return.
Of course, he gets tackled.
So, with the score 28-9, Virginia over Wake Forest. 3:57 left to play. It's a first down, of course. Up. Looked like the Virginia player jumped off. Dombrowski, the All-ACC left tackle for the Cavaliers.
We should find George Welsh right there. He's really getting uptight about this. He says, come on, fellas, let's keep that clock running.
So Dombrowski does a very rare thing for Jim. Misses the snap count. And that will back it up 5 yards. As the Cavaliers apparently have victory well within hand. Jim Dombrowski, who I think probably is headed to another All-ACC season, has played well in the first half of this season.
And I would say to a big fat pro contract next year. Great player.
So first down now in 15 for the Cavaliers. Ford and Muha on the right side, split. And to give again to Word, he's up the middle one more time. Down to the 23-yard line. Ken Grantham on the tackle for Wake Forest.
I think George Welch is going to have to put Petty in the game to see who's going to end up being the leading receiver because they're running, because they keep taking turns and who's making the most yardage.
So pick up a 4, and it's now. I'll pick up much more than 4. I should say 9. It's now second down and 6 yards for Virginia's Cavaliers. They give again to Word. Where else but up the middle. Penalty flag on the play. Ken Grantham tripped him up. As tempers may be getting a little bit short as we near the 3-minute mark. Of course, Virginia will have a week off to savor today's victory. Cavaliers have a rare breather. But for Wake Forest, it's back home against William and Mary on their homecoming and Parents' Day next week. And, of course, with a second conference loss, that makes a chance at the ACC title a little bit remote right now. But certainly, with already 4 wins, Fran, there's a very good chance that Wake will turn the corner and have a winning season this year.
Illegal use of hands on the offense. Second down.
So second and 11 for Virginia's Cavaliers after the penalty. 132 yards and a couple of scores for Barry Word. And here he comes again. One of the old student body right plays. Cuts in at the 20 and grinds his way to the 18 before the Cummings and company toss him out of bounds. Ronnie Burgess also in on the tackle.
He was trying to stay in bounds to keep that clock running. Look at this play from ground level, and you'll see what he was trying to do as he cuts back. There's the pitch. Looks the ball into his stomach. Now he turns on an accelerated speed that he has. Turns that corner. Now watch him right here. He turns real sharply to his inside here to keep in bounds. Right there. Beautiful. He's trying to stay in bounds, and boy, they just pushed him right on out.
So that brings up a 3rd and a long 1 for the Cavaliers. Antonio Rice and Howard Petty in the backfield. And to give to Petty up the middle, he's breaking to the 16-yard line. And another first down for Virginia as Grantham again on the stop, the outside linebacker for Wake Forest.
You've got to appreciate the offensive line here. Now watch him block. Watch the fullback. Take on 56 right there. And, of course, he neutralizes him, gives Petty a chance to jump over him and make that extra yard to give the 1st and 10.
Nice hit by Grantham, who has been making a lot of tackles.
I love those
shots,
those great pictures that we're getting from the end zone. You can see that guy coming right at you.
That's what it looks like, I guess, in the secondary. So Mikowski works on first down at the 16-yard line.
There's that end zone shot again. How do you like it? Isn't that great? Watch it. That's live right there.
Antonio Rice for a couple. And the Cavaliers continue to grind the clock down to 2:24.
We should ask the cameraman to do that live shot one more time if we can, fellas. I'll tell you why. They're going to probably line up on an eye and give it to the deep guy. And it's not fair that poor fullback doesn't have a chance if he carries it by himself. If they line up in that eye, let's look at it right from there. Now, they'll probably give the ball deep to Petty, and watch him do his cut and slashing from that position.
Here he comes.
See the way it looks at you when you're running from that angle. You can't get a perspective of the yards you're making, but you see his problems of cutting in or out.
Pick up of 3 for Petty on that play. Brings up 3rd down for Virginia. Gary Bollinger on the tackle, number 67 for Wake Forest. And we're down under 1:45 to play as the crowd hanging tough at Scott Stadium. A couple of people with homecoming plans, I guess, elsewhere are making a move to the exit now. But it's been a strong day for Virginia's offensive and defensive teams. Third down and about, we'll call it 9 now. Once again, it's Petty, this time trying to go wide. The Deeks have it pinched, but Cummings misses, and Petty keeps on running it out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. Ronnie Burgess finally forcing the play out.
Okay, again, they've been pounding him inside, so here goes the pitch. Again, you got to watch Antonio Rice. He's the guy who's got to make the play, number 47. He knocks number 56 down, and you can see right here, Petty's trying to cut back inside, does a good job, and of course, now he runs out of bounds, which he's trying to stay in bounds, getting the extra yardage.
So Hitchcock and Zimmerlink are in the 2 tight end offense for Virginia as they go 4th down and about 1.5 yards against the Deeks. Uhal goes in motion, comes back. They're going for the end zone. Oh, just over Zimmerlink's head. Gino Zimmerlink, not quite tall enough to catch Mikowski's pass. Ronnie Burgess on the coverage. As Mr. Competitor here.
Yeah, right. Because he had him so wide open, and it's so uncharacteristic of Coach Welsh to allow him to do this in this situation. What's his reaction here? Oh, my goodness, I had a touchdown.
So with 1:13 left to play, Wake Forest will take over at their own 9-yard line. We'll pause, but East comes in to play quarterback in this waning point. Good strong arm, but Rancho drops the short pass.
Well, that young man was supposed to not play today. The coach, right before the game, told us they weren't quite sure whether Ramseur was going to play or a great freshman they have, a youngster named Darryl McGill. And Ramseur's gone the whole game, so he couldn't have been too hurt.
I'd also like to thank our spotter today, Bill Friel, who is off to Houston, Texas. Won't even get to stay around for postgame. Bill is joining us today spotting, and we appreciate that. As Virginia continues to play tough on defense, Jamie Harris again, the new quarterback, up the middle, and Reeves breaks it to about the 23-yard line. Chip Reeves, a 6'2", 214-pound freshman, the backup to Topper Clemens. As you see his stats, not bad at all, average-wise. 24 carries, 104 yards, now down to 53 seconds and counting. As Wake Forest will try a little something from the spread on the 1st down play. Harris throws across, but incomplete. Wazorek, Kevin Wazorek, the senior tight end, comes up a little bit short on the ball thrown at his ankles. That, of course, stops the clock now with 41 seconds to go. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Deeks.
Here's where you bend, but you don't break. They'll be lined up in a 3 deep zone. Let them throw the ball underneath and make the tackle.
George Welsh still got his game face on.
He won't change it either.
Little semi-shuttle pass up to Dwayne Owens, and Owens has got something going. He's to the 40, the 45. Who's the fastest man? And a penalty as Ray Daly rolls Owens out of bounds at about the 45-yard line.
You can see right there is a penalty, but George Welsh, just, you know, as a coach standing on the sidelines, he just doesn't like this sort of thing because he wants to practice his.
So Owens takes in a 36-yard reception, and they'll tack out on some additional yardage.
So you don't get a chance in practice during games very much.
Take a look and see what happens.
Okay, you see right here, he catches the ball. Probably a face mask, I would say. Here's Daly. You can see him coming across right here. I'm not sure who did the face mask, but he's got him by the face mask and pulls him down, see? So it's only a 5-yard incidental. Whatever that means, incidental face masking.
Well, it's still a 1st down at the 38-yard line for Wake Forest. And again, 31 seconds left to play. The Deeks would like to put something up for pride here, trailing 28-9. As Harris has come in and made something happen. Started the season as the #1 quarterback, of course, a Virginia native, who went to Georgia for a year, but he is sacked and wrapped up.
And Dan, what I was trying to say before, you like to work on your prevent defense, and of course this gives Virginia the chance to do that, and when it starts really being porous like that, it really bothers you. And you'll see right here, they actually rushed in with only 3 people coming in because everybody else is playing pass defense, and they get to the quarterback. And, of course, that makes Al Grove angry to see something like that happen. So, you know, you're really working still this late in the game. You're still working on situations that will occur as the season goes along.
This ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Goodyear. Say hello to Goodyear's Vector, the new design in radial tires. By Chevrolet, who invites you to see today's Chevy, drive today's Chevy, live today's Chevy. By Sharp Electronic Corporation. From sharp minds come sharp products. And by GMAC, the financing people from General Motors. 22 seconds left to play. Second down and a bunch for Wake Forest. 23 yards to go for the first down. Jamie Harrison at quarterback as Wake operates now almost exclusively from the spread formation. Again, more pressure. More pressure. Harris gets the ball off. It's going to be picked off. And Virginia. Mark Valizenis, a junior. And linebacker picks the pass off. And that is about it. As the Cavaliers stop Wake Forest with the interception.
He still isn't smiling. Come on, George, give us a smile. Golly, there you go. That there he smiles. Let's catch that on freeze frame.
Have some happy fans today. It's been a great day. They have been predicting rain for all week, but it's never occurred. First down for Virginia. 13 seconds left to play. And once again, outside go the Cavaliers. And that's it, as Keith Vanderbeck carries it for the final time.